So this guy's pitching an idea for an anime. He says, I got this new anime plot. Basically, there's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, serious honkers. A real setup of donkers. Packing some debonk honkaroos. Massive dahoon bonker. Yeah, sure, sorry. The honkaloos. Big old hunger cougars.
What the fuck?
Somebody says, what happens next? It's like, oh yeah, then a transfer student shows up one day with even bigger bonk honka coons. Humongous hungalam gong non long gongerous gongs.
You're talking like a fucking sim.
Sorry, but you're out of a job.
It's okay. I was never really a very good clown.
Come on, guys, we're leaving.
Drop sequence initiating. Fasten your seatbelt.
You're the best. You're the guy who always takes like cream pies to the face.
What?
Okay.
Iron Man's on the point.
That's Captain America. Yeah.
Whatever. America Man.
Okay.
I mean, America Man works. One HP ult? No fucking way. They're mad. They're punching the fucking air.
Oh my god, let's go.
Oh my god. Yo, later man. Later man.
Hey Panda, do you think I could blow up your platforms if I use this?
Yes.
Click.
Sentry gun needs assembly.
Zeppy!
What happened?
I went to only throw it once and I threw it and then clicked again.
You know what? How about you stay down and reconsider your choices? Jesus Christ.
Why did you call it a Chef Boyardee's?
That's what song you typed.
God damn it, Savage.
Damn it, Savage.
You can't, listen, it's not my fault I'm drunk.
How is it not? Okay, and a voice in her head which gives her advice, which is later revealed to be Angel. Yes, I do remember that. A voice in her head that gives her advice and is called Angel? Maximum Ride directly inspired Borderlands, didn't it? Right? A voice in your head called Angel? Well, I mean, I guess that is just like a religious thing. Maybe. He has dark hair and wings, and his special features include his ability to virtually disappear and the key to immortality in his DNA. So one of his things is like just having good genes, I guess. Cool. He is somewhat reserved, but cares deeply about the flock. He is usually very silent, seems quite mysterious, always hiding his feelings. Fang runs a blog about the flock's adventure. I was not ready for the blog about their adventures. God damn it, Fang. You're so mysterious and dark. Nice blog, though. Oh, wait, is that why it's called Halo?
Holy shit.
Am I dumb as shit? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's called Halo because it's a ring, but that's why they use that music.
Yeah, right? Like, it's gotta be, right?
Or like church music. Yeah, Halo, great idea. I've just thought that myself. Yeah.
God fucking damn it.
We played that game too much. There's nothing.
Yeah.
That's just like one of those obvious things that no one would mention because it's too obvious. Little known fact about Panda, he has like an iPad in his back. So you can entertain yourself if you're behind him.
Don't add lore like that because I might have to remember it later.
You can play Angry Birds behind Panda if you're in a line.
Be careful, guys. Be careful, cat owners. Because cats are fucking dumb bastards, man. They are stupid motherfuckers, truly.
There's nothing in that little head.
Yeah, not a single fucking thought except for malice and destruction.
Just wants to knock shit open.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know the world's not flat, because all the cats would be going to the edge of it to knock shit off it.
I've never used a deodorant. I don't think deodorant spray is sufficient, to be honest. I think that's cologne, but worse. It's worse cologne, to be honest.
I just put pure aluminum on my armpits.
Pure aluminum? Like foil?
Yeah, it's the best way. Wrap myself up like a turkey.
Isn't it weird? If you eat too much, you have to poop sooner. That's weird, right? Because it doesn't process through your body faster, does it?
It pushes the old stuff down. It's like,
Is that what it is?
it's like Play-Doh barbershop.
There's no way that's why. But that
It's
is what
gotta
it seems
be.
like it is, right? Like if you eat too much, it does make you have to poop sooner somehow.
It does. It's the way it pushes it. I'm telling you, man. It pushes the mess down. It pushes the old poop out.
Oh my god, dude. I don't understand, but it definitely feels like that's how it works.
It's just a big hose pipe, really. You put more shit on the other side of it, the old stuff's gonna come out.
If you think about it, your lips are directly connected to your anus.
I think they're made out of the same material.
You think
I thought they were all hedgehogs, dude.
No. Well, first of all, Knuckles is an echidna and Tails is a fox, so you didn't even think
Yeah.
that was the case.
Yeah, like kind of like hedgehog fox sort of deal.
No. No. Echidnas are very similar to hedgehogs, but foxes are very different.
What's tails?
Fox.
Oh, he's not. He's got a tail.
He's-
Foxes don't have tails.
What?
Just fucking with you, man. I'm just fucking with you.
Is it a thing where like when there's a new vampire, they become a cousin? Is that what it is? Because they're
Like
related
brothers
to you,
and
but they're not
brothers.
like, you know what I mean? Like they're related to you, but you can still fuck. That's why they're cousins.
Panda, why did you? What, you thought that in your brain, then you said it out loud.
I thought about it fully, laughed, and then decided to say it anyway. Savage is dumb in some ways, but not in the ways that matter. He is dumb in some ways, but not in the ways that matter. Go ahead and underestimate him. You'll fuck around and find out.
Alright, I'm not John Wick, dude. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, you're right. You're not John Wick because John Wick has to.
I still have my dog.
Yeah.
So it's just spawn point.
You can't fly away from Iron Fist. Iron Fist
Wait,
can
you can
fly.
make floors?
Yeah, you can change the angle. So if I do this at someone's spawn point,
Yeah, okay. They can just shoot through it.
nah, but I can just toss grenades into it.
They just jumped off.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think that's a realistic circumstance, bro.
Nah, man, nah. If I get to this spawn, I can do it.
Yeah, okay, man.
All right, I'm up.
Nah, get the fuck away.
There's something really, really fucked up about respawning in exactly the same
What the
place you just
fuck?
killed me.
I didn't even die. It.
Together to victory!
I did not get to try an ult. They really playing Torbjorn. Oh my shit.
Yay, we did it! We assembled!
We did. We assembled.
Well done, Avengers.
Well done assembling Avengers.
Hey! Oh!
What should we do? What should we do? Let's make a Schindler's List claymation. They probably like that. Like, fucking shut up. Dude, stop. Stop making shit you've already made.
I would watch.
Yeah, I'd watch it too. I'd watch it.
I would watch the Schindler's List claymation. I haven't seen Schindler's List yet, but I would watch. I would watch the claymation.
Don't watch that one first.
No, I would. I really, truly would. I would watch both, but I would watch the claymation first. Because that's pretty fucking funny. I'm gonna be honest. That's one of the funniest things I've heard you say.
Oh,
Full
okay.
stop.
All downhill from here.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Yo, what up? It's your boy, that Daft Punk Panda. You know, we're playing some more old school RuneScape. I went to sleep like relatively early-ish. I don't remember when I went to sleep originally. I think it was around like 6 p.m. yesterday, right? And I woke up at like 8:50 and I was like, oh my God, I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. Oh my God, I'm late. What do I do? And then, then I realized it was 8:50 p.m. and not 8:50 a.m. So I was not late. I was extremely fucking early, actually. Turns out like I was good. And it was only like maybe 8 seconds that I was worried or whatever. So it wasn't bad or whatever, but I was definitely like, oh no. Oh wait, no, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine, actually. And I went right the fuck back to bed. And then I woke up and this is the wrong place. And then I woke up and it was midnight. And I was like, that's too early. We don't need to be awake at midnight. But I also wasn't extremely tired. So I was like, I wonder if anybody's online. So I hung out in Elian's stream for quite a while. And then like at around 2 a.m., right around 2 a.m., I went back to bed. And then I woke up and now we're here. So we slept quite a lot. I don't know if that means that I have dodged entirely my concerns for being sick. I am not sure. But I do know that I have rested quite a lot. I didn't take vitamins though. I forgot. I was supposed to. I did have something very similar to a porridge though. Sort of. And that's gotta count for something. Hello Snake, hello Procy. Greetings. We're playing RuneScape. It's still the thing. We're still doing the same thing. We don't get to be free. Well, I say that, but like 93 rune crafting, it's not huge. But like, you know what I mean? Stay locked in, stay tuned in, because things are gonna change one day. Things are gonna change one day. You're gonna go from saying, hey, you're trapped here and you've been trapped here for forever. What's going on with that? And soon you're gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck? What happened to your levels? Suddenly you're so close to being there. You know what I'm saying? Rosie says, oh yeah, did we check if we were added? What's your name? Is your name Prostylot? Oh, one word. There he is. He was FE Procy on lot. Procyon? That's weird. I don't like your name with an on in it. Procyon. It sounds sciencier, which fits with the space theming, I guess. Procyon loader is raccoon. Oh. Well, that explains why it sounds sciencier. That checks out. So like Procyon is like your full name in a way? That's interesting. Procy says I'm not a good name guy. I can relate to that. I'm terrible at naming shit. I'm terrible at fucking everything. Look at that meteor though. I think that thing literally just fell, right? Because we were here a second ago and it wasn't there. But yeah. Okay. We did it. There's Procy. There he is. I'm actually like terrible at adding people that I like watch on stream because I almost never am playing the game and watching a stream at the same time. Almost never. Because, I mean, obviously, right? If I'm playing the game, then I'm on stream. So I'm not watching a stream, right? It's just one of those things where it's like, it doesn't really, the incidence of those two things are very much not one-to-one at all. Procy, have you seen the Aether runes at all? obviously you're an iron, so it's not of use to you particularly, but it's very fucking good rate wise, and it's also a pretty good moneymaker. Rosie says, yeah, I get them from Yama. Oh, get a load of this guy. Big baller over here. Rosie says, but they are useful for bossing. Yeah, I've never used the Aether runes themselves, but the method to like get them, pretty fucking sick. Pretty fucking sick. Way better than ZMI. It's similar to ZMI in that it's like kind of the same thing over and over again, but the rate is higher and it's less pain in a way that I can't put in words. But the thing that's nice about it, other than the rate, is that it's also profit. And ZMI was otherwise the best. I mean, it was profit before as well, right? Clearly, but it's consistent. That's the problem with Guardians of the Rift mostly, is that it's not like fully consistent. It's mostly there, but it's like not entirely there. Rosie says saving the slot so you can death charge is so good. For Yama? That makes sense, I guess. I didn't realize that you needed death charge in particular. I guess you don't have a light bringer though, maybe. Rosie says no with the runes. I don't think I ever used death charge on tormented demons, which would end up with a very similar rune set. So you're doing death charge, demon bane, plus thralls, and that's why you need another slot, I imagine. Oh, hey, Amelie. Hello. Things are mostly the same over here, but we're doing a new skill in rune crafting. I don't think we were doing rune crafting last time you were here. I know you were here recently though, but I don't remember which skill it was. But yeah, this is the last one. Processes death charge is insane if you can use it. Yeah, it's not bad. It's death charge basically just, oh, Mark of Darkness also would be part of that set. But death charge basically just gives you a little bit of extra spec for the next KC, which is good, right? It's good, but if you have a light bearer, I think it's light bearer. If you have the ring that increases your spec regen, usually it doesn't make a substantial difference in any way. Like, I don't see what it would do for you specifically, except, you know, give you just a little bit of extra, but like, it's something, right? It's not bad. Amelie says, you were here recently, but you don't remember. You started a main? Starting a main, huh? What caused you to start a main? Did you just get sick of the iron lifestyle? Usually people don't go from an iron to a main, you know? Amelie says, my friend started a main account. That's certainly a reason. And they wanted me to have a main too? I see. Playing this game with someone else is like such a novel concept to me. I think that new players definitely should probably do like a main rather than an iron or something. But, oh, I'm not using the necklace. I realize now. Whoops. I haven't used it for like the last 3 fucking runs. I was wondering why my profit was weird. It's because I didn't have a necklace this whole time. Amelie says, I play on both accounts. I still have my iron. Yeah, I know. I understand. It's just a weird thing. But, you know, it's not a problem or anything. Like, whatever you want to do. There's a lot in this game. And, like, I'm a fucking main. Like, I'm not going to judge you for playing however you want to play. But it's just a little odd to go the other way. Most people go from a main to an iron, you know, and then they, like, literally never look back. Maybe their main is useful in some way. Hey, Saku, what's up, dude? But
Hello.
generally, you only play the game, like, one way at a time. Amelie says, I played a GIM for 6 years. So you played a GIM for about as long as they've existed then, probably. I don't remember when they added that game mode, but it was like not long before then, for sure. Procy says any fight that has little goobers you can kill is great too because it's an instant spec and double death charge for Yama. Death charge upgrade. Oh, because of the judges? I never considered that. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking in the context of like tormented demons, which would give you another spec or a spec sooner, right? But if there's ads, it is better. You're right. I didn't consider that. Well done. Good science. I see the vision. Rosie says, and the random stars in the fight triggers death charge too. Really? The little
The bombs.
yeah. That's interesting. I guess you do have to kill him, right? Anyway. Goddamn. Millie says, I have my GIM at Gem Crab. You didn't finish combat after 6 years of playing? What are you doing? Yeah, that's fine. There's not a lot of benefit the last few levels give you anyway. Amelie says, no, definitely not. Yeah, it's not like the most valuable thing you could be doing with your time if you're actively playing the game and stuff. Me, though, I got nothing better to do, as you can see. Rosie says it's good in TOA and Doom. Genuinely a lot of content it's good for. Death charge? Anytime you can use death charge and you would otherwise be using thralls, I believe it. Because it's literally just more spec on top of thralls. Amelie says almost 99 for fishing, cooking, and fire making after 6 years. I mean, cooking you definitely could have sent at any time. Fire making is also very, very fast. But fishing I can see. It depends on what you're doing for fishing. Like you might be that one might be just, you know, a matter of like lining it up or whatever. Like you need food. You need food as an iron. So like it's not surprising that you're well on your way even if you're just playing the game normal. Amelie says I was doing sharks. I don't think I've ever actually done sharks. I've caught sharks before. Catherby. Shout out to Catherby. But I don't think I've done the like minnows method or anything like that. Even though it's supposed to be good. Amelie says at Castori. I don't think I know what that is. Amelie says that Astoria Sharks and it's next to the bank too. Saku, where is Castori? It's a new Varlamore location?
I think.
Story. You passed it. Oh, this one. Oh, it's the one with like all the corn. And it's got sharks somewhere. I don't see a bank here. The other side though? Not a story. This one then. There's sharks next to that bank. Tal Teclin. Yeah, okay. If you said Tal Teclin, I would have known that was Varlamore. Castori, that town doesn't sound familiar to me at all. I was like, I don't know anything about Castori. I've never heard of that shit before in my life. Millie says I'm bad at names apparently. Well, I mean, shit, I didn't even know that Castori was a fucking place. So like, I'm definitely not about to get on you for the name part of it. Like, I fully was like, I don't know what that is. Which is funny because like we'll be playing this game having played it for, at this point I've played it for a couple years now, so now I've got like a pretty general idea of like what things are called and stuff. So if somebody brings up something that I don't recognize, I'm like, you made that fucking up, you're fucking lying. That's not real. I would know if it was real. Oh, it's new content. Okay, that's fair. I mean, but like, it is like to that point where it's like, it's either brand new content or you're making that shit up. Ether runes? What the fuck are ether runes? That's not a thing. Right? And it's like, oh yeah, no, it's a brand new thing. Okay, that's fine. Never mind then. There's a lot of new bullshit too, all the fucking time in this game, which is like pretty good. My rate is fucking miserable. My rate right now, I literally stood in the cosmic altar for like 3 minutes or whatever looking at a map. My rate right now is about as good or better than it has ever been in Guardians of the Rift and ZMI, just for the record. Me literally AFKing for a spell was better than actively doing those fucking skills. And we'll get it back too. Amelie says, I haven't even done Yama. I haven't done it either. I will soon though. It's just not as important to me as grinding out rune crafting, but I will soon. Amelie says, I did the Twin Titans, the Royal Titans. Yeah, I think that's what the boss was called. Royal Titans, but you're close. I did that a little bit. We got Saku one of his prayers, I think. That's what you were missing, right? A prayer?
Yep.
Yeah. And then we stopped doing it. It's like, okay. Well, it's dead to me forever now. Millie says, didn't get any drops. I think you got the prayer and I got the teleport, at least.
Yeah.
So we actually did get a couple uniques in like fucking 20 KC or some shit. Like not even probably. Hey Kolya, what's up, dude? How's it going? I mean, if there's one thing that I am always is blessed. I definitely tried to pick up that impling on accident. But then again, I didn't get the Chinchompa pet and I had like 40% odds. Actual scam. Savage would have been fucking upset. I got the Chinchompa pet though, so maybe it's for the best. Same with the squirrel. If I got the agility pet, those are the two that he's missing, I believe. And he would have been punching the air. He would have been upset about that shit. Because he's been after those jokers, especially the agility pet, for a long time. He's been dreading the Chinchompa pet, but he's been after the agility pet, if that makes sense. Koyas has just got some nice deep dish delivered to me. And fighting heartburn. You gotta take that pill or whatever that helps you with food or whatever. Millie says, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today, but I almost never do in the mornings. Millie says, I need to make food. Yeah, it's pretty good. 9:18. Yeah, it's 9:18 for me as well. I'm probably not going to eat it all until after we stop streaming. So 14 and a half hours. I would guess somewhere around there. It takes forever to eat anything. And I realize it's mostly because of the rice maker. It takes a long time to make rice. And that's the main thing that's taken me so long. Because it seems like, to me, like I don't take very long to make or eat the food after the rice is done. And I just wait until the rice is done, basically. And that's the thing. It's like the rice just takes like fucking 30 minutes, 35 minutes or some shit. I finally figured out why it takes me so long to make food all the time for forever. It's mostly rice. Oh, this is not lactase pills. It's not the lactose fighting me. It's the stomach acid. Wow. Get a load of Koya suffering from their own stomach acid. What an idiot. But I think there's something for that too, like Tums or whatever, right? Like actually, isn't that the same? Not like the same solution, but like the same kind of situation where you can take something for it. So what are you doing, Zaku? How you doing, man?
Not doing too much. Yep.
Good. Enjoy your weekend. I too am not doing very much in the grand scheme of things. I am grinding out rune crafting to the best of my ability. We've lost like 2 full days now, which is not very good, but that's okay. It's not like we're like on pace for world record or whatever. It's okay. Not a big deal. Do you think I can submit my max grind to the speedrun website? If I just send them my playlist on YouTube, do you think that they'll accept it as a submission? They're like, why is there fucking anime characters on the screen and shit? Like, sometimes you have fucking dog pictures show up. Like, we can't accept this. Koya says, technically, yeah, practically, I need to see a fucking doctor since for so long it's been chronic. I mean, after a certain point, Koya, they're just gonna be like, sometimes your body's just like not good at stuff, you know? Like, yeah, no, it's fine. But doctor, it hurts when I do this. Then don't do that. Sometimes that's as simple as it is. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Probably nothing. You know what I mean? It's probably fine. Shrug. Koya says it's literally sometimes causing my throat to be inflamed. It's just acid reflux. You just need some antacids, man. Just choke down a couple. I mean, you might be like actually like allergic to something in particular. Like some people can't do like tomatoes and like citrus fruits and stuff like that. It could be something like that where you actually have like a mild allergy that only really manifests in like your stomach acid being too acidic. You know what I mean? So like, is it all the time or is it just with some foods, you know? And it could be like very broad types of food as well, like fruits or, you know, like nuts, you know, stuff like that as well. Obviously that doesn't apply to a deep dish pizza, but you better not be putting nuts on your deep dish pizza. If I see some fucking walnuts or pecans on your fucking shit, we're gonna have a problem. Fuck are you doing, bro? That's something that I don't think I've ever heard of on a pizza before. Nuts? I don't think so. Koya says, nah, my body isn't keeping down the acid. Whatever I say, whenever I lay down, it goes up, or worse when I bend over. Why the fuck are you laying down after eating food? You fucking weirdo. Koya's like, my stomach acid really fucks up my throat when I dangle by my legs upside down. It's like, why the fuck are you doing that? Koya says also without food. Why are you a trapeze artist, Koya? Answer the fucking question. Oh my fucking god. Saku, when was the last time you were upside down?
Oof.
Exactly, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't happen in my life, Koya. Koya says, aren't you bending forward to tie your shoes or pick something up? Actually, I crouched down. I put my butt on the ground in order to reach my shoelaces. I don't bend forward for it. Why do you bend over to tie your shoes? So that your rump can be an alluring target for others? Do you have a fantastic ass and that's why? Because I usually put it on the ground. I do a squat. I do a Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Generally, I think that also applies to picking something up as well. So like generally I'll squat down for it. Nope, that's the wrong one. Toya says, ever heard sitting on a chair and bending forward to pick something up or tie your shoes? I've never tied my shoes while sitting down. I don't think. Usually I put my shoes on, like my shoes aren't near a chair. Now, I recently installed a chair actually in my kitchen. And by installed, I mean I moved the chair that was here into my kitchen. But until then, I had nothing to sit on in my kitchen. Like, not really. Like, I had a table and a countertop or whatever. But, like, I literally could not really sit down in my kitchen. There was a, there's like a little step. Like, when you enter my house, you step into my house, and then there's a step up into the kitchen. And I'll sit on that sometimes. But that's, like, literally, like, 6 inches off the ground or whatever. So that's almost the same as sitting on the ground anyway. So generally, no. To be honest, I actually do not sit in a chair and put on shoes. Koya says, you get my point. That stuff just happens when it does, and I'm screwed. I mean, it sounds like you need to adopt the lifestyle that I live by, and it would solve a lot of your problems. If you stop dangling upside down like a fucking trapeze artist, and, you know, you start putting your shoes on without bending over, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of that problem is going to go away. Toya says, I need to adopt a whole new body. How about that? Cyber Koya? Cyborg Koya? There's something to be said for that. New, stronger, better limbs. You could get those scissor legs. Pretty sick. I think they're actually, like, more efficient somehow. More efficient, but they, like... The problem is your little nubbins, you know what I mean? Like, you can really hurt the part of your body that interfaces with the scissor legs or whatever. But as far as, like, you know, moving through space or whatever, they're real fucking good. Like, I feel like I remember hearing that they needed to have like a separate like Special Olympics or whatever, specifically because the scissor legs were like so efficient or whatever, like that you could like outcompete people who had legs instead of scissor legs or whatever. I feel like that was a thing that I remember hearing about, where they were like, actually, if not where it is now, but at the rate the technology is progressing or whatever, that's going to be a problem. Like, legitimately, like, they would be a threat to Olympic runners. Like, we're going to have Olympic runners cutting their legs off in order to like, make world record attempts. Like, there's no fucking way. Rosie says it was. I remember it too, the legs thing. Yeah, I thought I remember that being, like, a real thing. Like, the scissor legs are, like, actually, like, fucking badass, apparently. Like, oh, shit. Koya says, you bet if becoming a cyborg were realistic, I would 100% do it. I'm so tired of my body. I think you're not the only one, especially depending on what it is that you replace, you know? Because, like, contact lenses are not that distinct, you know what I mean? To begin with. Like, you're already most of the way there. You know, for, like, replacing your eyes, like a bionic eye or whatever. As long as it's not, like, fucking buggy and shit like that, you know? It's like, yeah, sure, fuck them. Koya says, a new spine and new lungs, new stomach, new feet, and new shoulders. Okay. The spine is pretty fucking important. I don't know if you want to replace that one. That one seems a little sketchy to me. I'm like weirded out by that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where like most of your shit is. But I guess if you're replacing some of that other stuff, it doesn't matter if the spine gets replaced after a certain point. Koya says, oh, and your lungs aren't important? See, but like, the thing about lungs, right, is they're like an organ, right? So I can see that being replaced. Like, you take it out and like put in other things, right? And we have like the iron lung, right, which is like a really like old school, but like an actual legitimate organ replacement or whatever. The spine is where your like neurons go, right? Like that's where they are. That's how like your body like interfaces with, like your brain interfaces with the rest of your body. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like it doesn't seem as good. It seems more sketchy to me, I guess, just because of that. Koya says the Iron Lung is scary. You think Iron Lung is scary? You should play that game that Markiplier is making a movie on. Rosie says become RoboCop. You're so right. I should become RoboCop. In fact, we're ending the stream. I'm gonna go become RoboCop. No, I just needed one person to tell me to become RoboCop. That's it. That's it. I'm out of here. I've had it up to here with this bullshit. I've had it up to here with crime. I'm doing it now. I'm fixing this. Hoya says, how is that game called? So what is it called? I don't remember. Hoya says, it actually came up in conversation yesterday and I was able to come up with the name for the life of me. It's probably similar to Iron Lung, but hold on. It's like an indie game in a sea of blood. Iron Lung video game. It's called Iron Lung. Yeah. That's what it's called. I was like, I think it actually is called something similar to that, if not just that, but yeah, that's why. Sometimes the reason why you can't think of the name of something is because you've thought of the name of something and you've already got it, so you can't keep looking, you know what I mean? The answer is to stop searching when you found it. All right, let's start with a shout out for Kolya. If you guys don't know who Kolya is, he's a 3D VTuber. Sometimes, but not all the time, I guess. What does he got going on? He'll play a little bit of Rita the Necrodancer. Very conversational streamer. Some Supermarket Simulator, as well as some RuneScape, of course. He's newer to RuneScape. Still in the early game on his main, but he's played leagues for the last couple years, so he's gotten to experience like a pretty weird smattering of different content in the game as a whole. But yeah, he's the V8 his name is for voice actor. He's a native German speaker, but he's very fluent in English. Very good at English. Doesn't seem to have any problems communicating unless he forgets the word in English, and in which case he might also forget the word in German. That's just like a personality quirk more than it is like a fluency thing. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to say this thing. I don't remember. I know the word, I just don't know how to say it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember. I'm familiar with the concept. But anyways, well, it was pretty fun. I recommend you check him out if you get a chance. He's often busy though, so he's not like a very regular streamer as of late. But you know how it is. In the rookie leagues that we've got going on, you know what I mean? It's pretty typical for somebody to stream just when they feel like it, rather than all the time or whatever. Koya says, I'm a VTuber whenever the software isn't crashing. Naturally. Koya says, oh, okay, I was mixing up that game with another yesterday, and I tried to tell my conversation partner what game. I confused it. Well, I tried explaining it, and he didn't get it, and I couldn't remember. Koya says, that call out? My friend told me to speak less English because of that. Because you kept mixing up, or because you kept forgetting words in German or words in English. I don't know. I don't think that's the problem. Maybe though. I think it's normal for people to forget words though. Like, I forgot words. And I only know one language. You know what I mean? I only know the one. So like, I think that'll just happen regardless. Homele. Oh? Fromage. Fucking love Dexter's Lab. Can't believe they would lie to me like this. Speaking of Dexter's Lab, it's suitably scientific enough for me to talk about Procelot, who is the Raccoon Boy Space Cadet VTuber, Space Cadet Paladin VTuber. He's got so many different descriptors. He's got so many things, so much lore. You should definitely check him out if you're interested in RuneScape. He plays a wide variety of games besides just RuneScape, including League of Legends, and games with his actual friends. You know what I mean? He's done all kinds of different things. He did a Soul Link with The Way of Gold, I believe. Did some Dark Souls, lots of Souls content as well. He said that he wasn't speedrunning Dark Souls 3. He just practiced speedrunning tech in Dark Souls 3, which I don't know what that means. I don't know to what degree you could have familiarity with speedrunning tech and not be a speedrunner, but you know, like whatever, man. If he feels like he's not there yet, you know, whatever. Rosie says, hey, I saw the screenshot of you playing League. You aren't free of the curse. That was like about 2 years ago, and I played one time with Laurie. It was basically a collab. That's also not strictly true, because 2.5 years ago, I think I played because the game that I actually intended to play like was busted or whatever. Like I couldn't get it to work, so I did League as a filler game. But for as long as the kernel level anti-cheat has been in League of Lego, I have not played that game. They were like, hey, we added kernel level anti-cheat to help prevent cheaters from playing the game, and I was like, great, I can finally uninstall this piece of shit. And that was it. That was the last time I ever played it. Kolya says, I don't think that that is an issue either. If you're bilingual or fluent in even more than 2 languages, you'll forget something on the spot. I wrote a German exam about that. I wrote a German exam about that exact topic. You wrote a German exam. So like it was just like a free writing prompt and you decided to write about that in particular? That's interesting. Do you think that you could write like a stand-up set? Like a stand-up comedy set? As like a free writing prompt? Because that would be pretty good. I would love for the through line of like the stand-up comedy set that you're doing to be like you forgot a particular word, like Krankenwagen. That's an ambulance or whatever, something like that. You know what I mean? And like that, the whole comedy bit, like 5 or 10 minute bit, like centers on that word being forgotten or whatever, and it just like comes up over and over again. And then at the very end of the comedy set, you remember the word, and that's like the punchline, like the final punchline. Seems like it could work. And it would also work in like a written freeform essay format, I think, as well. Koya says, almost, we got 2 options: fictional story or research text. Cringe. Who would choose research text in that context? Just make up some shit, you know what I mean? Take me on a fucking adventure. Koya says, we had to pick either and then answer some questions and sum it up. I picked the research text and it was about that. Oh, so you were reading like some kind of published work on that phenomenon and taking an exam based on that public work rather than it being a free writing prompt. I understand now. Fair enough. I got some stale ass water over here. Hold on. Tastes like water. It took me an alarming amount of time to realize that the tea that I set on my desk was not safe to drink after a couple hours. Mostly because of the sugar, actually, I'm pretty sure. Hoya says neither was free writing. You'd have to read either and then sum it up. Yeah, I gathered that at the end. Yeah, what's up, Elo? Elo says, gonna make some tea now. I usually have tea. I usually make some tea, but it's a lot less convenient for me now that I realize that it's not safe to drink after. Like, you might as well drink it when it's hot type stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe. Which is probably when it's best anyway, but you get what I'm saying. Whereas, like, I'll have, like, a glass of water next to me, like, all fucking day long. Whatever. I try to replace it every day. This glass, I did not replace. I'm gonna be honest. But it's probably fine. Been since yesterday. Polly says, what kind of tea do you brew that's bad in some hours? Any tea. As long as it's not hot. Like, if you have room temperature tea with that has sugar added, it's not safe after a couple hours. Just out. Now, if you put it in the refrigerator, it's fine, right? Or if you keep it hot, it's fine. But if you just let it get to room temperature and leave it for a couple hours, it's not safe to drink. I'm pretty sure I would know, considering how many times I've upset my stomach having consumed tea that is of dubious safety. But yeah, I think it's just because the sugar propagates bacteria in like a population boom type vibe. Because there's like bacteria in everything, right? But most of the time, like in water, right, it's not a big deal because there's nothing for the bacteria to like, you know, propagate. You know what I mean? To have the explosive growth or whatever. But if you have sugar in that shit, obviously it's a bit of a different story. No, I think that some things can be like so sugary that they can't even grow bacteria as well. Sometimes. Like, it's like literally impossible. Like the bacteria is like, yo, this is crazy. Like, it's toxic in this shit, dog. Boy says, what kind of nonsense is that? We do that all the time here, and I've never heard of anyone getting a stomach upset. I've never experienced it either. I don't know what to tell you. Right, so I'll continue with my shoutouts then. I'll do Saku since he's here. What's your name? Saku. So Saku Kenpaku, he's a bit of my co-host as of late. He is the Soul Mage VTuber. He does soul magic. You can tell he can do magic because he has a big hat. Today is Sunday, which means that he's going to be playing Remnant from the Ashes 2 later today. That'll be fucking 5 hours from now or something like that. Probably more even. He's been playing that with his good friend Kitsune. They usually do like co-op style 2-player type. They co-stream, I guess is what I'm trying to say, on Sundays. Kitsune doesn't actually stream, but he joins Saku on his stream. The other 2 days that Saku streams a week are Tuesday and Thursday. Very regularly, he does those 3 streams. On Tuesdays, he's been playing the Halo franchise with Beatrice Gambit, and on Thursdays, he's been playing Disgaea, though he's very, very nearly done with Disgaea. There's just like a little bit left in one of the DLCs, and he's probably going to switch to a different game right after that, like during the stream. But he also played the Halo 3 ODST Helldivers 2 crossover this past Friday. That's cool as well. Elo says, I always thought he was a fisherman with that hat. I get the frog theming, but no, he's not a fisher guy. Do you like fishing, Taku, in video games or in real life or anything?
I haven't done it in real life.
What do you think about it in video games, though?
It's alright.
Yeah, he hates it, dog. He hates fishing. I don't know what to tell you, so no. Fishing in real life is cringe. Doing anything in real life is kind of cringe, to be honest. The thing that's nice about fishing is that you can get absolutely blasted while doing it, right? That's the thing. That's the reason why dads like fishing, is because they could just fucking drink booze and get blasted. It's a low tempo enough activity for them to just get fucking hammered, you know what I mean? Like actually white girl wasted. No, I need necklace. This is the worst timeline. Yellow says doing anything IRL is cringe, but love to hear more on this. True. What is there to enjoy? Like going to a concert? I can listen to the music on Spotify and it's better mastered. And I also don't have to worry about getting punched or trampled. Going outside in general, that's where sickness is. My house, safe. Don't get sick inside of your house almost ever. What else? The food that you can buy out there, shit's more expensive. If you simply make food at your house, you know, sans the grocery store visits, obviously, it's way cheaper. Cringe. Boy says, didn't you literally get sick yesterday? Yeah, because I had somebody deliver food to me. You understand? The outside caused my insides to be bad. It all goes back to outside. The only thing outside has for you is vitamin D. And you can get that through a window. Just sunbathing like a cat following the sun. Pretty good. This is so hermit lifestyle? Oh, it's more than a lifestyle. It's a crippling social anxiety. Maybe not quite. I can definitely leave my house. I'm not like actually an agoraphobe or anything like that. I go grocery shopping now and then and get like McDonald's and stuff. I just don't like leaving my house. I view leaving my house like leaving my bed in the morning, right? Or first thing in the morning, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not leaving my bed. That's all right. This is the perfect place. It's perfectly me-shaped. You know what I mean? Procy says, I'm so close to being agoraphobic. Just like right on the line. Nah. I'm basically like fully well adjusted, actually. It's just that I don't like doing that shit. Though I do have to rehearse phone calls to some degree. There is a little bit of that. Like I do have to like put a good amount of effort into like trying to not be cringe on the phone. Because that's rough. That's rough. Roasty says, the amount of willpower it takes to go outside is so insane. No, I'm good. I don't need that much willpower at all. I just don't fucking like it. Polius is low-key worried about some of you. All right, Kolya. All right, all right. We've all got our own things, I'll have you know. Rosie says, I'd be worried about me too. Don't encourage Kolya. I don't know. There was a time where I was definitely more inclined to be worried about myself. I think that like the like agoraphobia or like socially withdrawn, like those things are not nearly as concerning as like the antisocial personality disorder stuff. Those traits that I've had that I have, those traits that I've at some point at least presented or whatever were a lot more alarming to me than any social aversion that I have or whatever. The difference between being like withdrawn or an introvert and being antisocial, by the way, is someone who's antisocial is someone who's like genuinely socially destructive, like who causes problems in a society type stuff, whatever. And I definitely have some of those traits, but you know, I'm good. Things are fine. It's fine. We mostly got through it. We mostly got over it. It's fine. Whatever, I guess. I stay inside, so it's not an issue, right? As we've established. Prosthesis based. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing, right? Like, even if you are a psychopath or a sociopath, you can be just well adjusted, right? Just don't cause problems. You know what the laws are. You know what I mean? Like, you know you're not supposed to do these bad things, so just don't do them, and it's fine. Simple, right? Like, that's all. And like, yeah, you can like psychologically manipulate the people around you such that you get what you want out of them and stuff like that. Or you can treat them like people and be respectful, right? And then you don't have to worry about them finding out that you're a psychopath. Do you see? Like, you can just choose to be fine and it's fine, right? What's up, Modern Age Sage? How's it going, dog? How you living, man? I was really looking for a place to transition to a shout out, but I don't think that the conversation about psychopaths is the one. So I'm probably not going to use that as the transition point, right? As I start talking about Amelie TTV, right? I'm not going to say that has anything to do with them because it doesn't, right? As far as I've ever experienced, Amelie has been a great streamer and a very pleasant person to hang out around. Very conversational type streamer. They play all kinds of different games, including RuneScape, of course. But I would say that like Escape from Tarkov is unfortunately their pick. You know what I mean? Their main poison or whatever, because that game is like, it's like a whole different kind of toxic in a way. But it also can be fun, I'm sure. But yeah, Amelie is definitely a vibes. I would say VTuber as well. They have a bunch of different PNG, a bunch of different PNGs, and they just change it up by the day. They're just like, I feel like being a fucking rainbow unicorn today. They're not actually a unicorn or whatever, but they're very My Little Pony coded in one of the PNGs or whatever. It's very, very shiny. You'll know when you see it, you'll be like, yeah, I get it. Like, that was, what are you doing? Shuro. Subscribe for 13 months. Jesus, dude. You don't have anything to spend your money on? God damn. You don't have any bills, bro? Motherfucker's big ballin', huh? All right. How's it going, Shuro? I just teleported to the same place that I was. That cow said moo. Fucking saw that bastard. Modern Age Sage says, I'm good. I just made a smoothie. What do you got there? A smoothie? Big batches for the week? Big smoothie batches for the week? That's crazy. Modern Age Sage says that he doesn't normally meal prep, but it was a lot of work and I didn't want it to spoil. So I'm having smoothies for breakfast for a week or so. Fascinating. All right. Process, is this just in being normal and nice and nobody has an issue? I mean, generally, yeah. Just bury that dark triad deep within you. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't even need to bury it. You could like have it as like you part of yourself normally. Just treat other people well. And it's just like, it's alarming to them, but not a problem, right? Like, just treat the people around you properly and they probably won't mind that you have dark thoughts that you don't manifest into actions. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay, mostly, probably. Modern Age Stage says, how's the morning treating you all? Now that everybody's here, I guess we're doing just fine. Ardo says, I am feeling way off my groove today. What? What happened? Ardo, we'll do an Ardo shout out next, since I happen to be talking to him and thinking about him. What's your name? Ardo. Ardo, Celery. He has a middle name too, but I don't know what it is. Was just playing Hollow Knight. Some Hollow Knight last time. I wasn't able to like hang out and vibe because I kind of want to play Hollow Knight myself. And that's one of those games that there actually are a decent amount of like, not exactly like Souls-like, but like you could spoil the experience in a Souls-like way where like the more you know about the game, the easier it will be for you and the less ingratiating it will be to like learn and overcome and stuff. Like the game will teach you stuff naturally over time as I understand it. But yeah, obviously Silksong is coming out very soon. I don't think that I'm going to be playing Hollow Knight in time to play Silksong, but maybe, I don't know, probably not. But I'll probably play both. I also want to play Shovel Knight as well, similar. But anyways, Ardo says that actually it wasn't Hollow Knight. It was legally distinct from Hollow Knight. Fair enough. Or were you playing Silksong and that's why? Because Bow Path of the Teal Lotus, I see. I assumed it was Hollow Knight with some kind of like green filter. To be fair, Ardo was playing under the games and demos category, which I just assumed it was a Hollow Knight thing. Having popped in, I was like, nah. Ardos is way more forgiving. Fair enough. Modern Age Sage says I've never played Hollow Knight and the gang's all here. Yeah, I think a lot of people haven't, to be honest, but many people are very excited for Silksong as well. And you know, I'm happy for them in a way. Similar to Metroid Dread, where like Metroid Dread seems like a very cool game that I probably would love, but I don't know that I will ever play it. I've never played a Metroid game in general as well. There's a lot of blind spots that I have in like my gaming acumen or whatever, and I kind of do want to fill them at some point, but just haven't quite gotten there yet. We haven't like really gotten into the variety streaming part of my Twitch career, you know what I mean? I did, right? I did a bunch of different games before RuneScape, but once we get back out of RuneScape, we'll be able to experience a lot more different stuff. And I've already got a lot of stuff lined up that I want to like get through and try and do and stuff. But it's not a lot of like brand new stuff, to be fair, but it'll be technically some new experiences, you know, still in there. Ardo says I was playing 3 different games, hence the general category. Oh, I see. I usually just change the category whenever I switch between games. But I also have like a VOD channel anyway, so I end the recording while keeping the stream live. I end the recording pretty regularly. We'll switch for posterity. I don't know how much posterity is like that important. I like having this. Part of the reason that I did the VOD channel actually from the very beginning was because I wasn't sure that anybody was going to watch. If that makes sense. So I kind of wanted there to be like a record of like, no, I was a streamer. See, I was doing the streaming thing. See, look, I really did it. But now that people are like kind of here, it kind of doesn't matter as much in some ways. But shout out to the VOD watchers. Shout out to Whale. Hanging out, getting through, experiencing the grind, podcast style, hopefully. Artist was supposed to be doing art, but no inspiration. There's like 2 ways to do art, right? There's like the inspired kind of art, and there's the I have to do this, like professional, like break my mind until it works type art or whatever. I was watching an artist, her name's Spacefish. I like Spacefish a lot. She's very good. Don't tell her I said that. Like actually don't, it might be weird. It wouldn't be, obviously. But yeah, she's been known to play a variety of games. She's a Twitch streamer as well, but she's been trying to stream more regularly, and to compensate for that, she's been doing a lot less video games and a lot more art, because the idea is she's got like commissions that she's trying to get through or whatever, and she can kind of do them on stream. But she's very easily distracted as well, so she's like trying to, you know, develop the like professional atmosphere of like, we are in work mode while we are working, and it's just that there's also a stream that she can have fun with, but she's in work mode. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. She's trying to figure it out. Very good. But yeah, that's specifically basically her words. It's like she's trying to be less inspiration driven so that she doesn't have to wake up at 3 a.m. and like hammer out a bunch of different art projects that she's inspired to see come into the world. And instead be able to like turn it on and be like, okay, I am here and it is time for me to do art. Oh, hey Suba, what are you doing here? You talk about art and Suba shows up. Also, did the high redeem actually go off? I don't think it did. Or maybe it's just taking a while. I don't know. Sure, we'll do a shout out for Suba right now, just because Suba is also an artist, is known to do an art stream now and then. Suba, if you haven't seen, if you weren't here, then you missed Suba playing Buckshot Roulette here on this channel and on her own for a couple of weeks, right around this time slot, actually, Sunday morning for me. Suba's fully on the wrong side of the world relative to me, so it's definitely Sunday night for her. But we played Buckshot Roulette, just the two of us, and then with Crypt and the one and only Procela, who was here earlier. There it is. Yeah, it just took a second. But yeah, Suba's pretty good. I definitely recommend you check out Suba if you want to like hang out and vibe with someone while they're streaming. Suba's played all kinds of different stuff. Headliners and Monster Hunter Wilds. Unfortunately, the only two, well, actually, Monster Hunter Wilds is the one that I've seen Suba play. But I do know that she's played Headliners as well. She usually streams on the wrong side of the world. I mentioned that a second ago because I'm not able to like watch her unless I wake up in the morning, which is like now, right? Which I do wake up in the morning, but I'm not like, you know, online, like on Twitch and stuff. I mean, like probably sleeping if anything. Underneath stages, I wish I could do that learning process, I guess. My style of writing is straight inspiration. I think that like everyone starts out that way, right? The reason why you create any art as an artist is because you're inspired to do so at first, but it's a skill that you can cultivate like any other to be like motivated and like create more, you know, outside of what you would normally do or whatever, right? I think it's a skill like any other, but I'm not an artist, so I wouldn't fucking know, right? I'm just fucking Twitch streamer. I play video games, you know what I mean? Like, we're not the same. Like, you guys do like real art and stuff. Suba says, do you know the music from the overworld before you went in the cave? I love it so much. Really? Okay. There's a lot of RuneScape music in the world. That to me isn't particularly a standout track in RuneScape, so there's a lot of music in this game that will probably appeal to you. Posty says, lovely people? I don't know any lovely people. Just friend-shaped people. Lovely. Suba says, Prosty, it's 10 p.m. now? Oh yeah, it is 10 p.m. Indeed. I don't know what I said. I imagine that I said something similar to that, but not quite correct. Ardo says, I enjoyed playing Delta 5 Rings of Saturn, probably. Probably not Delta V, it's probably Delta 5. As the first game for last stream, I imagine. Ardo says, a nice game to chill to. A nice game to chill to collect ice rocks and melt for fuel and minerals. Interesting. I don't think I know that game. Sounds like something that Savage might be interested in, though. Suba says, it's this current song. Never mind, it changed. Yeah, no, I understand. You're talking probably not this one, but you might be talking about this one. Because there's this song and then there's this song. So this is the one you like. Yeah. We're going through 3 different songs very regularly. Suba says, nope. What? Those are the only overworld songs. This is... Oh, this is not the overworld. This is Zenaris. I see. There aren't as many songs like this one. There are a few, but they're not in as many. There's a few, though. Suba says the one where you said, what? Suba. I'm doing a lot of fucking talking. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know when the fuck I said that. There's no fucking chance. But yeah, no, I understand. You're talking about the Zenaris. It's the one with the world is blue. That's on the moon. Procy says it's only 3 p.m. for me. It's crazy to think that like Savage really does have a degenerate lifestyle in order to hang out on the stream. Ardo says not Delta 5, Delta Velocity for the ones who crash coursed on super simplified rocket science. Interesting. Super says, yeah, it's pretty. Well, we're not going to listen to it anymore. So we're listening to the genie. I'll show you. Nope. No, we're not listening to it anymore. It's in the past now. Sorry. Oh, what? My pouch broke. Oh, my stamina. I should have drank. What the? What is that guy doing? Oh my god. He's dying of cringe. He's probably fine. That was a lot of fucking hit splats though. Jesus. Suba says, did you change the song and come back to the moon? Yeah, so the song that I changed it to is going to play for the entire duration. Because I changed the way that the music plays in this game. So usually the music changes by the region that you're in, which is called area. But I set it to random, right? So it's just going to play any random track. And whenever it starts the track, in this case, the genie, it's going to play through that whole track, and then it's going to choose another random track. There's still a chance that you'll be able to hear your favorite track. Just a low one. 1 in 809. Oh, hey, Will. Speaking of, I was talking shite earlier. I just mentioned the VODs. How's it going, Will? What are you doing? Anything new? Super says, why do you do this to me? I mean, it's not like I did it specifically to you. We usually listen to random music, to be honest. And plus, we were listening to it for like an hour or so. Well, says I got the diary cape? Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Now you can do nature runes. Probably among other things. I think I didn't do a shout out for Modern Age Sage. That's just his name. It's just what his name is. Modern Age Sage, if you didn't know, is also a bit of a streamer. He's on hiatus at the moment, though, unfortunately. I would say his specialty right now when it comes to streaming games that demonstrate his mastery of them is particularly Phasmophobia. That's mostly just because I haven't seen a ton of his streams, just because, you know, between him being on hiatus and me being busy, you know what I'm saying? I haven't been able to see him play a bunch of different games, but he definitely knows that game quite well. But I've also seen him play RuneScape. He was doing Mistle and Mystery not too terribly long ago. I guess it was a few months ago at this point. Having been inspired to take on RuneScape once again as a fledgling account. But as of late, he's been spending a lot of his time completely off stream, mostly playing Pokemon. He's looking to complete the Pokedex in the Gen 6 is what it is specifically. That's OSRS and XY. It's a big ask requiring multiple playthroughs now and then. So he's busy. Siba says, did you do a shout out for Procy? Yes. Yeah, I called him the Space Cadet Raccoon Boy VTuber and stuff. Yeah, he might not have been here at the time, but yeah. Procy was here before you today. Procy says, yeah, he called me a cadet. That's crazy. Are you not a cadet? Is that not true? Is that not part of your lore? Did I just make that shit up? Ardo says, I'm a captain? How long have you been a captain? When did you get promoted? Several times. I mean, you're still also technically a space cadet. It just means something slightly differently in that context. How long have you been a captain? Space captain? Procy says, since I was a tuber? So I just made that shit up, like, fully? What the fuck is a shooter class vessel? Oh, fuck. I just made cosmic runes. Whoops. Ardos is more like a space ranger. There's a season of Power Rangers that's set in space, but I forget what it's called. Siba says, speaking of making stuff up, Panda, you spelled Saku's name wrong? Yeah, I sure did. Close, though. It's close, though.
Onaku.
I did my best,
That's a
all
new
right?
one.
Shit, my bad, all right? I'm fucking trying. All right, Space Captain. Saku Kunpaku. That's just fucking me being bad at typing, to be honest, but... No, to be fair, I think it would have autofilled if I just pressed tab at some point when I was typing his name, so... Oh, wait, Ardo said something. Ardo said... Because of my strategies, this is Ardo speaking, I focused on keeping my mining ship fueled while waiting for intel regarding multi-million credit abandoned ships I can pick up and claim ownership, repair, and sell for profit. Yo, what's up, Oz? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good day. Working and lurking and all. Ardo said abandoned ships you can pick up and claim ownership of? What happened? What's causing these ships to become abandoned and available for pickup and you to claim ownership? Is that not like some of the most alarming shit you've ever fucking heard of in your life? Like, are people like starving to death on these fucking ships? Like, what the fuck? What does that mean, dog? How does that shit just happen? Like, there were people on that. How can it just be fine for you to go and like claim it? That is like some truly alarming shit. Whale says, next plan is 95 Slayer to unlock Hydra, but it's probably time for the Bofa grind. Okay. Bofa's very big. Bofa's very, very big. I think it's also very good for Hydra. According to Savage. Did I not teleport? Okay, good. Super says, by the way, nice to meet you. I'm a Ruby fan. Ruby's pretty, well, I was gonna say Ruby's pretty good, but maybe that's not a good way of describing it. Maybe I should say that I love Ruby very much. Maybe I shouldn't say that it's good, because I know that some people fucking hate Ruby and say that it's bad and like poorly produced and like poorly written and shit. And I think that most of those people haven't fucking seen Ruby. Like, genuinely, I think that they literally do not know what it is that they are talking about, respectfully. Because like, as someone who's seen all of Ruby now twice and having seen segments of Ruby multiple times as well, I literally don't know what they're talking about. Like, I've had conversations with people who like swear that it's like bad and will tell me all the different points that some YouTuber made about about why Ruby is bad. They will parrot the things that some YouTuber said at some point or whatever as if it is true, and I'm like, okay. Whale says, I enjoy Ruby. I enjoy Ruby quite a lot. I'm glad that it is available online again, because it was not available for a long time. But I imagine that they are well underway for season 10, volume 10. Though I do not imagine that we will see it for about another year or maybe even longer. But yeah, he is indeed named after Ospen Ark of Ruby fame. Ospen Ark, as you might imagine, or you might already know, he is a streamer himself. He's a live action streamer though he does have a solid Ospen Ark cosplay. We call him Oz, which, you know, just because that's short for Ospen, but he is named after indeed that Ospen Ark. And he starts every stream, well, not every stream, but he starts the vast majority of his streams with an exercise, and very regularly does exercise on stream. It's a bit of a way to keep him accountable for maintaining his body and pushing his body forward, you know, push it to the limit breaks type shit. But he streams video games as well. Exercising is just a part of his stream. Over the last 2 years, he's basically transformed his entire body. I remember one time him saying from flab to fab, if you will, right? But he plays a wide variety of video games actually on stream as well. That's 7 Days to Die, Dead by Daylight, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are mainstays of the channel as well. And every Monday he's got a community night where he'll play like Among Us, Golf with Friends, Marble Madness, all kinds of different things that can loop in the greater community that he's got going on. And even some like crowd control stuff. He did like a power roll thing, though I think he was underwhelmed by the crowd control options or whatever. He wanted it to be more chaotic, as I recall. Which might be in no small part due to his like gaming prowess. As I understand it, he was playing 7 Days to Die and people were trying to kill him with like bear spawns and stuff, and he was just like crushing it, you know what I mean? Wave after wave, just taking them all down with his bare hands. And to be clear, I believe that is hands with no weapons, as opposed to killing the bears and using their hands to kill those bears, which also seems like something that he might be able to do. He's a very strong guy. But yeah, definitely shout out to Osman. He's a great guy, very funny streamer, and very positive streamer as well. Bit of a beacon of positivity and self-motivation and growth as well. It's one of the core conceits of his channel. I mean, he did it himself. Last 2 years, he's fucking so strong right now. If I needed to move, like a big couch or something, shit, I'd be able to help me so much. He might be able to do it himself. He might tell me to sit down on the couch. You can get a few extra reps. Bill says, how did the Ruby stuff end up? I thought the IP got bought up with all the other stuff and went down with Rooster Teeth. Yes and no. So what had happened was Super says Ruby will be on Hulu now. Yes. So what ended up happening is Rooster Teeth, the company, was in a bad way, like basically went bankrupt, right? And in order for Rooster Teeth to not die a terrible, terrible death, they decided to sell, they being the people in power, decided to sell Ruby. So the people in power at Rooster Teeth decided to sell Ruby, the IP, to basically the highest bidder, which happens to be Viz, the people who host like manga, particularly like One Piece, for free. But they're known for localizing manga and stuff like that as well. But they now own RWBY as a whole, and that's not just the actual IP, but also the production staff and stuff like that. Like the people who work for Rooster Teeth to make RWBY are now employed by Viz, as I understand it. Like it's all the same people still making RWBY, just the same, but it has been a long time, and I imagine that they weren't really working on it in between then and basically now, right? Meanwhile, as a result of the sale, Rooster Teeth as a whole is owned by basically the same people. I don't remember if it's Carrie or Miles or whatever, but like basically the same people. And they still have ownership of all of their properties except for RWBY. So Nomad of Nowhere, the Stranglehood or whatever, Camp, Red versus Blue, all of those things are still Rooster Teeth, and RWBY is now divorced from Rooster Teeth. It's like its own thing now, as I understand it. And when I say it's its own thing, I mean like it's not independently owned. It's owned by Viz, and they are going to continue to make RWBY Volume 10 at some point. Suba says Bernie bought it. Sure. Carrie, Bernie, and Miles are all just like Rooster Teeth guys. You know what I mean? It doesn't, for the purposes of the story, I don't really care, but sure, it can be that guy in particular. That's the framing of the story means it works exactly the same way. Rooster Teeth is owned by the same people as always, and they're doing the same thing that they've always done, except now without RWBY, which is crazy to me. It's a crazy thing, because what that means in my mind, theoretically, is that like Rooster Teeth as a company was run so poorly that RWBY, the only profitable thing apparently, wasn't able to subsidize the existence of the rest of Rooster Teeth. And I'm like, and so you cut off the successful part. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, you get like gangrene or whatever, right? Like your leg is terribly infected. You cut off the leg and then grow the leg. You know what I mean? Like you throw the body out and you grow the leg. You're like, no, the leg will be fine. And like, the fuck are we doing, dude? Ardo says it is for the best since Rooster Teeth destroyed their golden goose by straying from the late creator's story notes from RWBY. I don't know about that, Ardo. I don't know about that one, dude. It's a bold choice to presume that you know fucking anything, to be honest. Like that kind of narrative I've heard many times from many people, none of which know better than you or I, basically as a whole. Now, that being said, I'm not going to say that no one could possibly know what exactly Monty Ohm was planning, envisioning, or whatever, but I do know that the people who knew Monty Ohm the best are the people who are working on RWBY literally right now. Like literally right now. So you and I do not know what RWBY was supposed to be anywhere near as well as what they do, period. So like, that narrative that you're propagating or whatever sounds like some YouTuber shit that doesn't actually have like any kind of foundation in reality. And I've looked into it a little bit, not a ton, I'll admit, because most of that shit is just hateful rather than like facts-based. Whale says, so it's similar to something like Shueisha? Maybe, I don't know much about Shueisha. But yeah, no. I don't know for a fact, but I would be surprised that you happen to have that kind of dedicated knowledge, because who are you? You know what I mean? Like fucking Monty Ohm's brother is still the voice of Ren, Ren. So like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we actually talking about here? Well, says they are a publisher that own a lot of anime. Yeah. So yeah, it's very similar. I don't know if Viz owns very much as far as like the actual anime IP. In the case of RWBY, they do, right? But I think that they just own the localization rights for most anime, as opposed to like the anime as a whole, which is a little bit different, right? As opposed to being like an anime publisher or something like that. You see what I'm saying? But it's like very similar, yes, for sure. But yeah, Ruby's an interesting one for sure. And it's one of those that like very naturally has like a very volatile conversation about it for sure. Ardo says, as far as I understood, the core parts of the story is drafted up before his unexpected passing, but since they broke off from the story, story writers themselves are put themselves into a corner with no way out. So Ardo, you don't know what you're talking about. Before I was suspicious that you didn't know what you were talking about. Now I know you don't know what you're talking about. So there you go. I actually don't know how to change the music back. Maybe if I just do area? Maybe if I leave and come back? Okay. I don't know how the alphabet works. Here it is. Sure, we can listen to Fairy. Oh, I did the ad break as well. We'll just listen to Fairy until the song ends or whatever. I'll know when the ad break is over. It's fine. Ardo says, either way, leave it to the theorists to figure out how Rooster Teeth fucked up a franchise that would have kept them afloat if they put more effort into the story and animation worthy of Ohm's succession. Ardo, you're confused. So, Ruby is the successful thing. You don't need it to be more successful to subsidize Rooster Teeth because Ruby is already successful. The problem isn't that Ruby wasn't successful enough, it's that everything else wasn't successful. Right? You're like, oh no, this one thing that we're doing isn't making enough money to subsidize the losses we're experiencing from all these other things. It's like, just stop doing the other things. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? like literally, that what you're saying is FIFA isn't successful enough to subsidize the existence of Madden because Madden is wasting so much money in production. It's like, no, FIFA success has nothing to do with Madden success, and FIFA doesn't need to be more successful so that Madden can exist. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, everything can be successful on its own, and so everything is privately like responsible for its own expenses associated with it or whatever, even though they're all owned by the same company or whatever. Like, that's a crazy way of looking at the world. Now you can use Ruby, for example, to subsidize the creation of new things, which is what exactly what they did for Nomad of Nowhere in particular, but a few other things as well. I think like X-Ray and Vav, because like the animation department basically started with Ruby, so everything that came after after the start of Ruby owes its existence, I think, to Ruby specifically. So maybe even Camp. I'm not as sure about that one because that one's much older. But as a whole, definitely, like, I don't see what you're talking about at all. Like, it's mostly like Rooster doesn't need Ruby to be able to like subsidize the entire existence of everything that they ever do. Like, you just don't, it doesn't need to be that way. Ardo says, one thing for certain though, the quality has improved after the IP got sold off from a critic's perspective. The quality improved since the IP got sold off. What are you talking about? What quality? What releases of Ruby are you talking about got better? Like genuinely, what are you talking about? You said a lot of things that don't make sense today. That's probably the most aberrant. Ardo says started strong, fell off from just a volume or two after the creators passing. After the IP sold off, they started over. They started over. You're talking about Ice Queendom? Oh, Ardo, you don't know what you're talking about at all. I said that before and I meant it, but I'm going to explain to you now why I know for a fact you don't know what you're talking about. Ice Queendom came out before the IP got sold off. They like licensed it to be like a Japanese anime or whatever, but Rooster Teeth owned it then. And they didn't like just start over. They just decided to do like they did like a reboot, but it's not like a whole reboot. Volume 10 is still coming. Today, Volume 10 is being produced. They didn't decide to like start the whole show over. So wrong. Fell off from a volume or two after the creator's passing. Wrong. After the IP got sold off, didn't happen. Wrong. Started strong, arguably, yeah, sure. That part's probably true, but I would say that it probably peaked maybe at volume 3. Maybe, but even that's just like a fucking questionable. The whole idea of Ruby having like a fall off period or whatever isn't a claim that I've actually seen substantiated in any way. Not to say that it isn't true. I just haven't actually seen it substantiated. People accept it as true when they're complaining about it, for sure. But I've not actually seen any evidence to suggest that like, no, it definitely did super mega fall off or whatever. I have looked at volume sales though before, but I don't remember what they showed. Maybe I should check that out again. Because there are some numbers that exist on the internet for volume sales. Ruby volume sales. I don't know where they come from. Volume 7 Volume 7 is the most sold by so much. It's though there's such a big gap. This doesn't have volume 1 or 2, admittedly. But volume 1 and 2, volume 3 was the last one that had Monty Ohm working on it. And I would suppose that volume 3 is the most popular, but I don't know that. Admittedly, I fully do not know that. But volume 7 is 3 times as big as volume 3 was. Volume 8 is twice, and volume 9 is as big. Ardo says, we just have really different views on the matter. Yeah, one of us is right and one of us is objectively wrong, provably in like 4 different ways. Ardo says, I only bought the first 3 volumes after watching them and stopped buying them after the later volumes. Just doesn't hold anymore. That's fine. You can dislike a show, but you shouldn't propagate misinformation about it, which is what you've done today, which is what I've told you, like in no uncertain terms, right? You haven't admitted to that being wrong about it, and I don't know why, but that's fine. Like straight up, you're like not correct. And the thing that you're doing is the thing that I was complaining about, which is why I don't like talking about Ruby, because people will just fucking lie about it as if they're telling you some like even remotely true shit. Like I objectively said, this is not true, you're wrong, in like now 5 or 6 different ways, right? And you've exactly backed down on 0 things and instead said it's a difference of opinion. No, fuck you, you're wrong. Period. Like literally period. You can dislike the show. That's not what I'm saying you're wrong about. You're fine to like dislike the show. You haven't even seen the fucking show because you've seen the first 3 volumes, but that's fine. You can dislike the show that it became that you haven't fucking seen. If that's how you want to be, whatever. But at the same time, finally, fuck you, you're wrong. about the other things, the actual facts. Arlo says, I watched the other ones. Oh, so you watched them, but you didn't buy them. Okay, I misunderstood. That's my bad. Fair enough. That's fair. A lot of people do not watch the show, and a lot of people that say the things that you say also do not watch the show, and it's obvious. And I would say that your demonstration here has presented to me as someone who doesn't understand the show and hasn't watched it, to be honest. But maybe you just simply don't like it. But there's a difference between something that is poorly written and something that you don't like. And that like whole fall off narrative or whatever doesn't make sense if you've actually seen the show. Like it just doesn't make sense in the same way. You can dislike something without being like, they've written themselves into a corner, is what you said, which is like literally just like nonsense. Like it literally just comes from nowhere. Like those are just words that you said, which is why I'm like, why I presume that you hadn't seen the show. Ardo says, I drifted off the fandom when it pretty much broke apart from that whole mess. When the fandom broke apart? That definitely happened. Ruby critics and the Ruby critics subreddit or whatever, I think like literally got nuked from orbit or whatever. Like it just isn't allowed to exist or whatever. But even its very existence came about from like the fandom itself being like developing like a grand schism between like the general Ruby fandom and like the people who liked Volume 1 or the people who liked up to Volume 3 or whatever. That's definitely a thing. Arodo says the community was much larger back then. It's just fragments now. I don't know about that one. I imagine that the Reddit for Ruby is bigger now than it's ever been. Because that's how Reddits work over time. Generally, they get bigger, not smaller. But I'm not about to fact check you on that one. We've done the fact checking today, and you've gotten nothing but L's left, right, and center, and I don't need to call you out on more bullshit. It's okay. It's not a big deal one way or another. Because that's also like at this point kind of petty. It doesn't matter one way or another. You might be right on that one. You might not be. And like I don't want to use the Wayback Machine to fucking prove, oh hey look, the community got bigger than it did. Like whatever. Like that's not really your point. And it could be bigger and also more fractured, I guess, at the same time. Both things could simultaneously be true, but in what way? To what end as well? But yeah, there's a reason why I don't like talking about it very much. Especially since this conversation started with, this is a thing that I like. I want to talk about this thing that I like. And it didn't have to be, right? I could have ignored it, right? But it became, this is me now defending the thing that I like from literal false allegations against it for no fucking reason. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're probably right in that the fandom is splintered, but like, look at why. Look at why. Gee, I fucking wonder. Can't just enjoy the shit that I like, you know? But again, it is partly my fault. I could have ignored the things that were obviously wrong. And that's why I'm like never going to be a beacon of positivity myself. I could never. I engage with the wrong and bad too much. I like to think that it comes from a place of not knowing, but it just doesn't sometimes. Some people just are haters, you know what I mean? Just certified haters. Not saying that you are. Some people are, for sure. And they'll do whatever they can to tear something else down. God, this method is so fucking good. Have a whole ass conversation and we're still getting 76k an hour. So fucking good. I do wonder when Volume 10 is going to be coming as well. I know that it's in production, according to a tweet, which is like as much of a green light as you're going to get, realistically. But it's probably going to take a while. I would guess, like I said, probably like a full year from now. Whale says, shame I won't be able to use this. Why not? Not until like level 90 for sure, but you should be able to do the method. Ardo says, I gave up seeking what's true anymore. Everyone went to war about it, so I'm used to taking flack on multiple sides of the matter across the internet. If you gave up on what's true, you shouldn't express your opinion. If you're not interested in finding the truth of the matter, then you shouldn't proliferate ideas that you're not sure if they're true yourself. At best, that's like of dubious intentions, I will say. It's different if all you were saying was what your opinion was, but you didn't say opinions, right? You said things that were factually inaccurate, like easily provably false. Because again, I don't have privileged knowledge and I don't believe you do either, right? So the things that I proved you wrong on are things that like anyone could know. And it's not like, oh, well, you didn't do your research or whatever. Just like, this is easy things to know. You know, like literally, when did Ice Queendom release? When did Rooster Teeth stop being a thing? Right? Whale says Yama is how you get that ether essence. Yeah, but you can kill Yama. Maybe not solo, but you can definitely kill him. Hey, Viking Troll. How does your 24-hour stream go? Viking Troll says it was good, still recovering. Yeah, seems about right. I don't think I'm ever gonna do a 24-hour stream myself. Viking Troll almost fell asleep at the 20-hour mark. Yeah, I think Stuck got to like the 17-hour mark or whatever, and she decided that she was going to stop for her 24-hour. Mostly because she was tired, and most people were also like, the chat like very basically died at that point. Like, even though people were around, it was like very much like a ghost town relative to what she's used to. And yeah, she definitely would rather have like a more typical streaming experience for herself. I don't think that I will ever, I mean, unless there's some kind of specific occasion, I don't think that I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream myself, just because it seems to me that, first of all, I stream enough just generally. I don't really need to do a 24-hour stream. And secondly, it's really demanding. Like, the logistics to me don't really make sense, right? Like, for a 24-hour stream to make sense, right, it either has to be a big occasion where you expect most people to be able to tune into most of the time, right? Or you're using it as like a way to like grow, right? But the problem with using it as a growth metric is like you're streaming times that you don't normally stream. So the people that are able to tune into you for the 24-hour stream exclusively probably can't tune into you any other time, because their availability generally is not going to line up with your like actual schedule, because you stream on your actual schedule as opposed to just like a random time during that 24-hour interval or whatever. So I don't think, like, logically it really makes a lot of sense, unless it's just something, I mean, like, you can do stuff just because you want to. It doesn't have to like make sense, right? Like, you can do whatever you want to do, right? Live your life. But I think like logically for a 24-hour stream, I don't think it actually serves for a particular like global goal. It has to be like attributed to a particular thing. So you want to do it for, you know, this charity event or whatever. That makes a ton of sense, right? Like, go ahead. But like, you can do it for any reason. It doesn't have to be for a specific one, obviously. Procy says, prefacing this with positivity. I like Ruby. but when the main story writer died, it felt like it had a creative change that I noticed. Like I said, I like it, but I can see why a bunch of people jumped ship on it. Procy says it's getting a new season is sick though. I think I'm behind a season anyway, so I got catching up to do. Yeah, no, I've heard that. I don't see it. I've heard a lot of people say the same thing where it's like, oh man, since Monty died, it has like a new direction. It's like a different show or whatever. And to some degree, that's definitely true, right? The dramatic nature of RWBY has changed like by like an order of magnitude or whatever from volume 3 to volume 4. But that's because in volume 3, the inciting incident of like, oh shit, this is real and people can die happens, right? Volume 3 is when death becomes on the table in a big way, right? And since then, largely, it is still on the table, right? So it's like the Harry Potter movies, right? The Harry Potter movies also have like a pretty dramatic change in like the gravity of what's happening, what's present in the narrative, right? But that's not because the writer changed or because the direction changed. Not really. In some ways it did, right? The original first 2, I think, were like very much kids movies, but you get what I'm saying. It's just that the narrative as a whole is a lot more dark. It's a lot grittier a narrative, right? And the reason why I say that, as opposed to framing it as because Monty is no longer part of the production, is because I've introduced RWBY to people and I told them before they watched RWBY, hey, the original writer for RWBY, the person who originally had the vision of what RWBY was going to be or whatever, died during the production of RWBY, and RWBY continued after, right? I told them that well before they ever started it. And we watched it together, and I told them, hey, I am going to tell you that the main writer has died. I'm not going to tell you when, and I would like for you to tell me when you think it changed, right? We got to volume 5, and I was like, oh, by the way, at the end of volume 3 is when it happened. They had no fucking idea. They had finished volume 5 and they had no fucking idea that it was any different at all. They were like, no, this is fine. It's perfectly fine. And even after I pointed it out to them, they were like, nah, I didn't really notice any difference. Now, that's an anecdote. That's 2 people's perspective, not the whole world of the internet or whatever. But if you were there for it, I think it affected you a lot more dramatically, as opposed to someone who is just watching the show, you know, binging from the very beginning to the very end. I think that it's much more pronounced if you were there contemporary to his death. But that's just my perspective, right? So my opinion and 2 anecdotes. And those are just opinions and anecdotes. That's not something that needs to change your mind or what anything like that. I'm just letting you know. Viking Troll says that his stream also died at around that hour. That makes sense. Viking Troll says it was fun to try, but I don't think I'm doing another one. There could be a reason to do it, but yeah, otherwise I wouldn't. I don't know. If there's like a grind that you like really fucking dread, but you can maybe get it done in like a day, like if you're trying to like finally push through and finish construction or something like that, I could definitely see it being worth it. But yeah, generally I wouldn't do it unless I had a specific goal in mind or something like that, a 24-hour stream. Artist says, those are my conclusions prior to closing the case. So whether I am right or wrong has lost its relevance. If only you were there in that discussion before the bans. Those are my conclusions prior to closing the case. So you're repeating the things that you thought were true before, is what you're telling me. So the things that you said today were things that you thought were true. Well, I hope you don't continue to repeat them because I've shown you that they aren't true. For the things that I've shown you that are objectively untrue, you can still just not like the show. That's fine, obviously. But the things that I said weren't true, right? Like, fact check, go ahead, look it up, right? But like, I didn't say it for no reason. Procy says, yeah, we go from happy go camp at school to people can die. Yeah, of course. Could be that we were aware when it happened, so it became more noticeable. Yeah, could be. I knew about it. My personal experience with RWBY is I was watching it from RWBY Red Trailer 1, right? All the way through Contemporary to now, actually. I've been watching it like week to week for as long as it's existed, and I've gone back and rewatched the show a few times as well. And I didn't notice anything myself. I didn't know that there was a controversy about the RWBY fandom until volume 6-ish. But I've never been associated with fandoms. I've never been like into like the idea of like being a part of a greater collective that like loves this show or IP or whatever. And as someone who likes RWBY and also likes Hazbin Hotel and also likes Homestuck, it has served me extremely well to not be a part of the like community of the fandom or whatever, right? I just simply did not know that shit existed. I didn't know that there was any animosity about it. I knew that Monty Ohm had died, but I also knew that the show had gone on, and I knew that it was great, and I knew that I loved it, right? But that's literally all that I knew about it up until about like the release of volume 7 or something. John Smoltz says the RWBY fandom went shit around 6. I believe what he has to say about it. I've spoken to RWBY a lot about John. I know exactly where he is on the show. I don't necessarily agree with everything he has to say, but I definitely think that he would know when the fandom had a problem, whatever. Because he was definitely in the fucking trenches. Did I say hi, Beatrice? Hello. Saku, I think Beatrice called you stinky, because I think that I'm sicky. I think. Yeah, okay, I got it. Awesome. Rosie says, I generally avoid fandoms because they usually, in my experience, I can only be soured by being around it. I didn't avoid fandoms. I just never engaged with them. But being that I like some things that are like some of the most toxic fandoms in existence, I have no interest in being in the fandom for basically fucking anything, right? Like, I mentioned Homestuck, Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss too, obviously, to some degree. And there's like a couple other things that I like that are like just some of the, according to the internet as a whole. Like, I don't have any way of knowing, and I don't know how anybody would fucking know, right? Like what it means to be a toxic fandom or whatever. But according to the internet, those are some of the most toxic fandoms in existence or whatever. And like, if that's the case, then I'm not interested in being in any fucking fandom, because I fucking love those shows. Not like unabashedly, wholeheartedly. I like Hazbin Hotel has like, if it has 10 songs, 5 of them are fantastic and 3 of them are ass. Like, I don't like unabashedly love them in like beyond critique type stuff, you know, not like that. I just really like them is all I'm trying to say. 3 might be an understatement, actually, to be honest. Some of those, there's like one song in particular that I'm like, Jesus Christ, this song is like, it's like the most technical song perhaps that I've heard in a show like that, and it is not, in my opinion, performed well, because it is way too technical a song. Like, it needed like 5 rewrites to like be anything approaching like a song that you can just listen to and enjoy. Like, it's like way too much of a character piece and way too technically difficult to execute, and I think it shows, in my opinion. I heard that song and I was like, ooh, this song is bad, like actually bad. And for a musical like Hazbin Hotel to have actual bad songs, in my opinion, is like as close to unforgivable as possible. Like, that is like, you're hanging your hat on the songs being good. Like, you can't have bad songs. It's better that you don't have a song than you have a bad song, actually. Rosie says, You're a Loser was a banger. Yes. You're a Loser, Poison. There's probably more. There's probably more than just those 2. I don't remember off the top. It's been a long time since I've seen Hazbin Hotel. But You're a Loser and Poison were very, very good songs. For sure, for sure. John Smoltz says, I don't want to go Panda shit gives me I don't want to go back Panda shit gives me PTSD. And then John Smoltz says, so live action Cats, I won't watch Hazbin Hotel then. I've never seen live action Cats, so I don't know, actually. I know that it's like weird, but mostly it's weird because of it's Uncanny Valley, whereas the animation in Has Been Hotel is fine. I wouldn't pay money to watch Has Been Hotel, maybe, but Hell of a Boss is free on YouTube, so I would probably start there. And if you like Hell of a Boss a lot, then you might enjoy Has Been Hotel in spite of some of the songs being bad. But like, I'm not like a strong advocate of either of them. If they seem like you would enjoy them, you probably would enjoy them. If they seem like you probably wouldn't enjoy them, you probably wouldn't enjoy them. You know what I mean? They pretty much wear what they've got on their sleeves. They say the fuck word and they're really crude and violent. And if they're funny to you, they're funny, right? They definitely are trying to be comedic. They're also trying to be heartfelt in some capacity as well, right? So like, if that appeals to you, then you probably will like them just fine. If that doesn't appeal to you, then you almost certainly will not like them, right? Especially if the sense of humor misses for you. If you don't like them saying the fuck word and being really crude or whatever, then yeah, no, there's nothing for you there, probably at all, to be honest. But like, that is kind of like on the tin, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no shit. Oh wait, hold on. Procy says, I saw and like those, some of those too, and also avoid fandoms for them. Yeah. Speaking of, Spindlehorse, the animation studio behind Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, is doing Homestuck as well. So there was a meme that was like, the most toxic community back in the day of, 2003, which Homestuck, and then the most toxic community today is Has Been Hotel or whatever. So it's like, there's a certain amount of continuity there. It's like, that sort of makes sense, I guess, for them to do it then. Ardo says, if you really want to know where I stood before the dissociation, I was one of the hardliners of the community who noticed the sudden shift as we hotly watched new releases. I'm struggling to do this. As we struggled to watch the new releases and discuss many topics, I had to put down the elbow grease to digest all possible behind the scenes work and have to cross-examine everything to glean what's true and what's not. Well, if you want to know what's true, you shouldn't try to find it out as the information is evolving, right? The way to know what's true about a situation is after all the dust settles or whatever. It's pretty easy to find out what is actually true. That's why you have to put so much elbow grease into it, right? And that goes for any situation. It doesn't matter what. Years in a rear, like looking back, it's usually pretty obvious to tell what actually happened and who was responsible and what the situation actually is, right? Procy says the scientific method works pretty well. Yeah, exactly. Ardo says hindsight is 2020 in its cheeks. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that it is what it is. Like, it sucks that you had to try so hard to like come to a conclusion based on facts or whatever, but like usually the answer is just wait, right? Because the situation will reveal itself before long. But yeah, I wanted to do some shout outs. We'll start with Viking Troll. Viking Troll, if you guys don't know, he's a RuneScape streamer, live action streamer. He uses his actual face most of the time, but not all the time. He just did a 24-hour stream where he was doing nothing in particular, grinding out some gauntlets, sure, but just living his life, playing some RuneScape. I imagine he just did it just for the fun of it, just for the thrill of the kill, you know what I mean? Just to feel something, anything. Like Noir Spider-Man. But yeah, I definitely recommend you check him out if you want to get some more RuneScape content. He, unfortunately, is in a bit of a different part of the world as well. I think he's across the pond, so he usually streams a bit earlier than I do by like a good amount. So like maybe like 8 hours prior to when I start is when he starts, something like that. He doesn't stream all the time either, pretty regularly though. And like I said, he is an Iron, so you definitely will get some Iron content, mostly just grinding out the same thing over and over again. Lots of Gauntlet as it happens recently. But Gauntlet, TOA, whatever, right? As he's trying to like continue to get spooned and be done with grinds sooner rather than later. Viking Troll says, I'm in Sweden, yep. And Viking Troll said, I did some TOAs with chat too before they went to bed. Sure. So yeah, he's extremely blessed. I think he's seen 2 shadows personally, and that's like well in advance of the KC that you should anticipate something like that. Even in Gauntlet itself, I think he's blessed. So, you know, if you check out his stream, inevitably he will get some stuff that's worth punching the air over. Viking Trolls is 4 on main. Yeah, there you go. Like I literally underestimated how blessed he was. Whoops. Fucking ridiculous, bro. Ardo says, I'm the type to do the work, then let the Ministry of Truth say video games encourage children to commit violence. Okay. You should polish up on your Ruby history then, is my advice. Then again, the Ministry of Truth is a lot more important than my opinion on Ruby, or yours for that matter, right? So like, if you're fighting the good fight about like actual video games, you know, pro video game speech and anti-video game censorship or whatever, I guess that is more important, to be fair. But, you know, you decided to throw your hat in the ring and you didn't have to do that. So I think that it's your prerogative to make sure your shit is as square as it can be. And likewise for mine, right? So yeah, we'll do another shout out. This one, music? We'll play the one for Suba again. So we did Procy, Ardo. Oh, we can do John Smith and Beatrice Gambit, sure. Beatrice Gambit, if you didn't know, she's the Bunny Girl Casino hostess VTuber. Like I mentioned before, she's been joining Saku every Tuesday for the Halo franchise. They're on Halo 3 now, I think. Or maybe Halo 3 ODST. I guess it would be Halo 3 ODST first, but whatever. They finished Halo 2 is the thing. So this is her first time playing through the game. Saku's played them before, actually fairly recently. Halo 3 ODST next. Excellent. That's a favorite of a lot of people. As far as the campaign goes, so look forward to it. It might be a banger, but you might also hate it. I don't know. Viking Troll says, I heard Halo and it's an insta follow. Yeah, she plays many more games besides. She's got a Switch 2, which she is looking for an opportunity to use, I'm sure. She did a little bit of Rune Factory. I don't think she's played Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's like a game of the year contender, but I don't know if she has any interest in that one. If you like Dig Hole, though, it's a dig hole video game. You be digging hole. What else? So I mentioned Rune Factory. She's also just finished, I think, the Final Fantasy Minus, like it's the bad one. It's the one with like darkness, chaos, darkness. That one. That's the one. People don't like that one as much. Like, it's a fine game, but like the plot is like more than a little dumb, right? Like it's fine, but like it's not amazing. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's been playing that one as of late as well. I think the main thing on her channel actually has been Minecraft. Lots and lots of Minecraft. And if you play Minecraft with her, shout out to Snake, do expect her to literally mount up on your shoulders or whatever and just use you as a vehicle. She's like, oh, I don't have to walk? Easy. Say less. She likes Jeff in Marvel Rivals for exactly the same reason. And also Marvel Rivals in general. Ardo says, that's my old hat in the ring. You're a good judge of character. I don't know about that. Ardo says, that sounded like Bravely Default. Maybe it does. I know Bravely Default pretty well. In that, like, one of my friends loved that game and played the sequel as well, Bravely Second. But I've never played it myself. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Mostly because that one friend of mine, like, just like unhinged his jaw and released the love for that game out onto the floor. You know what I mean? It just like spewed out. It was a huge mess. You know what I mean? Like a bucket and a mop situation. Like, it was bad. Like, he fucking loved that shit. But I've never played it myself. But I can only assume that it's a good game because he liked that game like too much. You know what I mean? Like, easy. Super says, darkness, chaos. Sounded like Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes. but not really. He doesn't usually say darkness or chaos himself. It's there's like an evil starfish guy that follows Shadow around. That's the darkness chaos guy. But yeah, he definitely has a very strong relationship with that shit, but he usually doesn't talk about it himself. Viking Troll says, ah, passenger princess, as it should be. I mean, that is what she calls herself sometimes. In the payload princess type shit. Percy says Beatrice is very cool. Let's see. How cool is Beatrice? Oh, I shouldn't have thought about her just chatting stream. Never mind. I will defer my judgment. Ardos says Shadow prefers just being himself. That's probably true in reality. I don't know how contiguous his canon betrayals are, if that makes sense. I don't know how consistent his personality is. I think it probably is pretty good though, but I also don't know anything about like the Archie comics or whatever. I feel like a lot of the personality for characters in Sonic or whatever are like very much informed. There's like so many different canons, right? Like there's so many different things going on in the Sonic verse. Like you could kind of pick any portrayal, like any canonical portrayal, and like substantiate it with a lot of evidence. You know what I mean? And I don't know very much about Sonic. I've played Adventure and Adventure 2 a lot. I've played the first 3 games, and I like the original Sonic games, and then that's mostly it. Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Riders. That didn't help. Sonic Riders didn't do anything for me. Wait, did it work? Oh yeah, it did work. Okay, fantastic. I missed it. Suba says Panda. Wait, yeah? Suba says you could have said any series, but the Archie comics for Sonic? Yeah, that's like the big one, right? There's a few different Sonic continuities or whatever. There's like 2 or 3 different comics, in fact. But like the Archie one is the long running one, right? Beatrice says, you got deep lore? What do you mean? Me? No, never. For Beatrice, I did, but that doesn't make you seem cooler, is the thing. I didn't walk away from the Beatrice deep lore like, man, she's so fucking cool. I was gonna do a shout out for someone. Oh, John Smoltz, of course. Shout out to John Smoltz, one of the OG homies. We met John Smoltz a long time ago, well before we ever started RuneScape, well before. He plays a variety of games. The rhythm game in Fortnite, the Guitar Hero clone in Fortnite, is one of the regulars. He'll stop by every now and then. Escape from Tarkov is a big one that he unfortunately spent way too much time in. He also has been playing through Code Vein. It's like his first major Souls-like game. And he's experienced the Souls-like dopamine of getting your ass beat by the same boss for a fucking hour and then accomplishing victory and just riding that fucking high into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? So he's addicted. We got another one, boys. What else? Oh, he's going to be joining us later today for GTFO. It's going to be John Smoltz, Pikachu, and Delta all playing GTFO in like 50 minutes or something like that. Look forward to that. Well, it'll be our first 4-stack experience. We'll be a big happy family all together, accomplishing victory. Probably, hopefully, maybe. Beatrice says, well, I am. All right, well, you know, the Deep Lore didn't really convey that. All right, I mean, like, I'm not saying that it's not true. I just had a little bit of pause, you know. It inspired hesitation in me for a moment. Artist says, how many of us are streamers? 75%? When you're, in my opinion, right? When you're a newer streamer, when you're a smaller streamer, most people that you're streaming to are other streamers. So yeah, the vast majority. There are some that aren't streamers though. Shout out to the homies, but the vast majority of people in a smaller stream tend to be streamers, yeah. Procy says that is also my experience. Yeah. It's usually streamers streaming to other streamers. But who delivers their mail? Repair the pouch? Sure. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the whole streamer streaming to other streamers thing, it is like, it's fine, obviously, but like, I think of it as like, not like I'm owed. I don't feel like I owe it to Twitch to like spend my time here necessarily, but I definitely am like, any time that I have that I can when I'm not streaming, I do want to be in a stream. Like, it's very, very rare that I'm like, especially on Mondays and Thursdays, that I'm not like somewhere. And it's usually the same few places, mostly because of like the way time works out. Like, post my stream, Pika Choke Me streams often, Smuggler Bug streams often, so I'm there a lot. Saku streams on Thursdays, so I'm often there on Thursday because that's one of the places that I actually can be consistently. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff like that where it's like I have like sections of my schedule that aren't like actually carved out that I do kind of dedicate like soft to the same kind of places over and over again. Suba says, I was a viewer and then I got peer pressured. Yeah, that happens too. Ardo says, I stream to both vent and experiment. My mad science cannot be stopped by me. My mad science cannot be stopped by me. What an interesting perspective to have. I don't think that means that you're going to stop unless somebody else intervenes, right? Like you're just going to keep doing. That's fine. Viking Trolls to scout and support the homies to some degree. Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. When it comes to other streamers, it depends, right? I definitely check out people that are the homies. I definitely hang out in their streams often. Shout out to Saku and them. It's harder with people that don't have like super consistent schedules. Shout out to Shiro, shout out to Procy. But it's also a matter of like people that are like newer. Especially people that are newer and come around, especially that are around a lot. I try to like snipe their stream as much as I can. Ardo's been really difficult for me as of late because not only do I have to like find time to actually be there, but also when they are streaming or when they were streaming, I was worried about spoilers for Hollow Knight, which apparently was totally unfounded, which I didn't know. I came in, I saw what looked like Hollow Knight and I was like, I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? So that was my bad. I guess I should have asked if it was Hollow Knight. But I mean, it did quack like a duck and look like a duck. It was just like slightly greener than normal. Suba says, what kind of mad science? I think that's a lore question, ultimately. He's a bit of a storyteller. Procy says, yeah. Thank you for the hydrate, Beatrice. That stale ass water. Yo, why does my water taste dusty, bro? It's fine. Terrible at this video game. Beatrice says, you need a cat who can add hair in it for spice. If I get a cat, I probably am going to get 2 cats, and they're probably both going to be black. Probably. It depends. If you're in the market for a cat, get a black cat from a shelter, because they have the highest kill rate of probably any animal in a shelter. People don't like black cats. Super says depends on his response. If I follow Ardo, damn, all right. Sue was like, my entire follow hinges on how you answer this question. And he already answered it as well. Ardo says streaming from Windows PC, Linux, PC, or PS5. Right, you did mention like the operating system thing. You did a little bit from Steam OS or whatever, right? Like you tried that shit out. Ardo says, change overlays. Linux, PC, or PS5, change overlays. Spend $200 in audio equipment, $100 in alternative equipment. Alternate equipment? What does that mean? Spend $50 in alternatives to audio equipment. Buy spare cables, etc. Ardo says PS5, I can't even use my audio equipment. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I've invested a lot of money in my stream as well. I don't know how much though. That's one of the things that I was trying to audit. I want to actually like, it's basically like a profit loss document. Like these are the expenses that I've made in the stream, like official stream expenses. So not counting like subscriptions to other streamers or anything like that. Just like hardware expenses that I use for the stream and for the stream alone. Or as much as I can for the stream alone. You know what I mean? Because like technically I use this computer for like video editing and stuff, but like streaming associated expenses basically. Which is like very close to just this. Control says, don't get a Siamese one. They're jerks. Mine pees on my bed and laundry when she doesn't get treats. I mean, I think what you've done, Viking Troll, is you've trained your cat to pee on your bed and laundry when they don't get treats. I think what you've done unintentionally, is condition your cat to get treats by peeing on your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you've done the worst anti-training that you could have. Suba says, how does this link to mad science though? I think that the like cables and wires and tools and gadgets is mad science. Viking Chill says, no, she gets mad and does it. I don't give her treats after. Yeah, no, because you didn't give her treats to make her not mad. You see what I'm saying? She knows what's going to get you to work in her favor, right? She's like, it's been too long since I've gotten a treat. Now I'm going to piss in your stuff in order for you to assuage my mental. You see what I'm saying? Cats are kind of smart. You got to think of them as like, what, like 3-year-olds or whatever? They're like dumb, but like they're not like extremely dumb. They understand like cause and effect. They just don't understand like intermittent consequences or whatever, right? Like, you can't be mad at them for something that they did an hour ago because they don't understand that, but they do understand that their actions have consequences. Beatrice says, I love cats. Procy says, maybe you'll give me treats sooner now, or I will piss. True. Beatrice also is like, I might perhaps piss if you do not give me treats. Yeah, I don't know about bribery working on most people, but it 100% works on Beatrice. You could definitely make Beatrice like you by throwing money at her. It might require a lot of money though, because there was a hypothetical that we were talking, that same Just Chatting stream or whatever, I think actually. We're talking about like how much money it costs for like you to do something that you wouldn't like normally do, like a life-changing amount of money or whatever, and Beatrice was like, $1 million is not enough because she still has to work after that. And I'm like, bro, why are you so fucking expensive? Viking Troll says, my treat expenses are going to go through the roof, I fear. Yeah, maybe. Procy says, yo, that's crazy. I honestly don't know which part of that you were reacting to. The $1 million thing? Surely not. I thought you said that before. Arnate Sage says, we getting treats for pissing on stuff now? No, I'm giving you treats so you don't piss on things, Modern Sage. Don't get it confused. Ardo said simple answer and then hit Suba with the longest paragraph known to man. See, Ardo's just like me for real. He's like, simple answer. The answer wasn't simple at all. Simple answer, 3 pages. Ardo's is simple answer, fucking 800 characters. Fucking 200 words. Hold on. Let's get through this. I am curious. Proceeds is throwing money at Bia. She likes it. Do it. She loves that shit. Underneath stations. Okay, so if I don't piss on your stuff, I get a treat. Yeah, see, now you're getting it. Supa says, you know what? Fine, you get a follow. Supa's like, I ain't reading all that. You get a follow. You worn me down. No. Ardo said, simple answer. I've been constantly experimenting on condenser microphones, phantom power devices, audio mixers, and audio input devices. Then there's the transition from one PC to dual PC setup, and is being hampered by network environment limitations and saving up money to buy wood necessary. Wood. I remember the wooden tower as well. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Wood necessary to build an experimental PC case before building the workstation PC from parts I bought 2 years ago. Yeah. So he's literally Frankensteining a setup together. That's what makes him a mad scientist. You really didn't describe anything that is like about the content of the stream. Ardo's like, yeah, the content of my stream is the experiment of the stream itself. Like experimenting around the hardware around the stream is the stream content. Like, I don't know if that's how that works exactly, but whatever. I don't know what a phantom power device is. Taku, what's a phantom power device?
No idea.
Do you know what environment limitations are? Not painfully specific, I guess. No, I should have gotten a stamina potion. It's fine. It's fine. It's funny because usually I follow people as a reminder that I want to check them out later when I see them live, which is kind of the opposite of what a follow is for. Usually a follow is to like note that you want to keep up with someone, but usually I follow someone in advance of finding out if I actually like their content or not. But I very rarely unfollow people anyway. Mostly because it doesn't seem like it impedes me very much. Most people aren't live often enough for it to be a problem that I'm following too many people. Only recently have I needed to like expand like the number of live channels that I can see. Just because there were so many people live at the same time. Very rarely is that actually an issue. Usually there's only like 5 or so people live at any given moment. Ardo says that the Ryzen 9 7900 and the water-cooled RX 6900 RX. Nope. The RX 96. Nope. None of that. The Ryzen 9 7900X and the water-cooled RX 6900 XT, along with the motherboard and RAM sticks, are still inside the big box to this day. Gathering dust. Along with copper tubings, 2 radiators, 2 pumps, an assortment of fans, and they're all driving me insane at work. As work gives me 6 days of work again. So what you're saying is you don't have time to put the shit together, basically? That's unfortunate. I don't really know what the specs are for that kind of stuff. Sounds impressive. Big numbers better, right? But I don't know Ryzen or RX. I only know what NVIDIA is and what it means to be an NVIDIA thing, and like fucking i3 579, you know what I mean? Like I know those. Again, bigger number better. And I know what's contemporary. Like roughly i9 is like where we're at. I guess i11 is going to be next, huh? But and then for the NVIDIA cards, the 50 series is where we're at the moment. So they're like questionably better, if even better than the 40 series, which was like probably better, but like not amazingly better than the 30 series. You know what I mean? It's kind of where we're at. But there's like 2 new 50 series 4090s. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. There's the base 4090 and 2 additional 4090s. Yeah, that's what I found out about recently. But there's also probably like a 50 series Ti or whatever, 50 series Ultimate, which might be like way better, but probably isn't, because as I understand it, the main thing that it does is generate fake frames, interpolated fake frames. Viking Troll says I have a 5070 and it's noise. What were you at before is the question. Because if you went from a 10 series to a 50 series, it's gonna feel fantastic no matter how no matter how power level wise it isn't worth the dollars. Is you get what I'm saying? A 3080? Oh, okay, so then that's a significant improvement. The 3080 should be quite good. But yeah, I never used the 30 series. I went from a 1090 to a 4090 personally. And this is the 4090 PC setup that I've got. But I think that given the contemporary like zeitgeist, not something that I actually have strong opinions on, I think that the 30 series is in a lot of ways like the peak for price per value, if that makes sense, like how much performance you're getting out of the expense. And after that is the 40 series, and then in a distant fourth or third, I guess, is the 50 series, which with it being extremely expensive and the value that you get doesn't seem to be there at the moment, but that's just what people have been saying rather than something that I've tried to verify it in any way. Procy says going from a 970 to a 4090 was crazy. Yeah, I bet. We can play actual video games now, like real video games. Like that got released this year instead of 20 years ago. Ardo says that the 970 to 4090 is the equivalent of the RX 480 to the RX 6900 XT. Okay. So that does help put in terms where the 6900 XT is for me. Ardo says not enough energy and time to break out the carpenter tools and do woodwork. That is very funny. It's very funny to do woodworking in order to make a computer. Or a tower, I guess. Really, it's just like a vessel to hold the body parts of the devices. Ardo says NVIDIA cards have the usual $200 to $400 upcharge for the same performance. I think it's more than that, depending. Like on release, it's way more than that, right? But I hear what you're saying generally. There is definitely an upcharge associated with just the name being NVIDIA for sure. Again, as I understand it, not something that I'm extremely profoundly informed on, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think that the difference between the 30 series and the 40 series is smaller than the Wait, no, the 40 series and the 50 series has a smaller gap than the 30 series and the 40 series, which has a sizable gap between the 20 series and the 30 series. So the difference between the generations is getting smaller, is what I'm trying to say in so many words. But I don't know if that's always consistently true, or if it's a thing that was true at the release of the generation, and then as more higher level cards within a generation have made that less and less true as time goes on, because mostly I'm just talking about the upper end, if you will, generally with regards to a particular generation. So basically the 90s, if you will, if we're talking about NVIDIA's. So I don't know nearly as much about specifically the 5070, for example, because that's not the 90, right? It's not the 5090, whatever. Or maybe there isn't even a 90. There might be a 5080 instead, but you get the idea, right? That's usually where you're actually, in my opinion, you're comparing the price points. And it's usually, it's not usually, for me, it's the way I've understand the difference in generations is basically the lowest end of the next generation is marginally better than the highest end of the prior generation, right? Usually about there, they're about equal-ish or whatever. So they kind of daisy chain from one to the other, in a continual step ladder of improvement, in performance. Not exactly, but something like that. It's kind of how I have been thinking about it, at least, whether that's true or not. And by virtue of that, that means that the 40 series, the high-end 40 series isn't all that substantially different from the high end of the 30 series, being that the low end of the 40 series isn't that big of a gap, as I understood it, from the 4060, if that exists, to the 4090. And the 50 series is that, but worse in its interpolated frame generation. interpolated AI driven frame generation or whatever the fuck. I heard about that shit and I'm like, bro, you're saying you're faking frames now? Like that's what we're doing with AI? Is this really? Can't we just play the video game instead? My control system, from what I saw, the 5070 RTX is comparable to 4090 Supers. I see. Delta, do we need to talk about... I feel like everyone I know, when they enter a chat for the first time, they say a funny word instead of just saying hello normally. You fucking freaks. You fucking weirdos. I'm not saying that. You get to live in fucking disappointment. Ardo says, I didn't buy an NVIDIA card because my first PC was used as a test platform for Linux. Okay, hold on. I'm like really not able to read this while doing that mechanical play. For a Linux project in 2016, communities were unhelpful in general. And the test operating system images refused to pull resources from the graphics card while simultaneously failing to host a game server beyond Minecraft. Nuked the project 3 years later and rebuilt the PC to pure Windows 7. It's a shame that the Linux community failed you, because usually they're like, not only do they like thump their chest at how good Linux is, but usually they're supposed to be like a lot more communally driven and like, you know, the wizened elders of the Linux community are as likely to help you out as anybody else type stuff. Yeah, seems that they failed you personally. Pretty unfortunate. But yeah, not something that I have any experience with. Well, I say any experience. I have had a Linux PC at one point. I was dual booting some laptop or whatever, but like I didn't like accomplish anything with it, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It was fine, but when gaming becomes like fully viable on Linux, they'll turn my ear, but otherwise they will have turned my ear, but otherwise I'm not interested. Artist, is YouTube getting caught using AI frame generation on stories videos? That was when I was in college. Infosys to be specific. I don't know what Infosys is. Is that like a type of Linux? Maybe? YouTube getting caught using AI frame generation on stories videos. When you say YouTube, do you mean like people on YouTube doing AI frame generation? Or what do you mean like because YouTube doesn't really upload videos very much. I mean, they do technically at some point, right? But like they don't do it a lot, right? Can I remove this from my pouch? Oh, I can. Awesome. All right, let's repair this. Did I do my dailies? I think I did. Pretty sure. Delta says, don't care. Say the word. Say the line, Bart. Bruh. I can't believe how many times I've had to use this redeem. Enjoy the ad break. My control says I'm debating making my PC a dual operating system down the line. You probably don't want to do that, to be honest. It depends. If you're going to utilize Linux in some way specifically, it's probably worth doing. But you probably will not benefit from it, but that's just like my opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a fucking guy. You don't have to listen to me. I just don't see it of being a particular concerted value. I definitely should get this. What did I have to say? Schmung Bungaloid? There you go. I said the word Schmung Bungaloid for you, Delta. Congratulations. Ardo says dual operating system is a no-go. Yeah, I think it's like the worst of both worlds. Like literally as bad as it can be for both, basically. Ardo says right now my Linux gaming PC plays games that normally crash my Windows PC. Yeah, you mentioned that before, right? But I don't know what's up with that. Seems seems silly. I was gonna say cracked, but like that's not how that word works. That's a weird thing to say. We can just keep going for a little while. I plan on switching games soon, and I was wondering if now's a good time to switch games. I don't know. We're doing okay. We don't really like need a break or anything. Kind of vibing. Oh, I should get a necklace. I guess we go. We'll just keep going for now. We'll switch games soon, but not quite yet. Delta says no GTFO today? No, we are. We start GTFO at noontime. So in 23 minutes. Unless you're anxious, unless you want to get it going now. John Smoltz might be here. Go ring Pikachu's bell. Ding his dong. Gerst says, I was reading a waiver and it said head scarves unacceptable. What other kind of scarves are there? Scarves on your head, not around your neck, right? Also, I'm not sure that that's on the up and up. Discriminating against head scarves, like not allowing head scarves to happen, sounds to me like some thinly veiled religious persecution is what I'll say. I'm not sure what exactly the circumstances are for that, but that sounds to me a little dubious. Here says it's for go-karts. Maybe because they're worried about it like getting caught on your neck then? Like it's a safety concern? Shouldn't they just say no scarves then? Here says, I'd imagine neck scarves aren't allowed either. Yeah, no shit. But like in isolation, I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. That seems a little sketchy to me. Like, I don't know about that one. I don't think you should do that. I went orange picking once, and I found out that the field that I was picking oranges in has, you know, a paying customer, was oversawn by a gigantic Confederate flag. And I was like, gee, I wish I had known about that before I came here. Because that Confederate flag by itself doesn't necessarily mean anything. However, comma, it does grant me pause. Like, gee, I hope that's Southern pride and not, you know, anything else. Procy says, yeah, that makes more sense. It's for safety concerns. I assume the same as Panda. Sure. Viking Troll says, if you hear banjos as well run, yeah, no, that's the thing. Or it's like, again, banjos by themselves, it's fine. However, right? It's not very long before I start seeing lowercase t's in the yard or something, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I have to be concerned about some other shit going on. Versus, so like there are belly scarves, belts? There kind of is a belly scarf. You've seen Zorro, right? He's kind of got like a belly scarf, right? It's like a Japanese thing in that case, right? But like there's something like that, I guess. It's not like a Japanese thing. It's like a samurai thing or whatever, right? Which is like in part Japanese, but like you're not going to go to Japan and just see that shit, right? Arno says paddle faster. I hear banjos. Yeah. I think I remember hearing that before, but I don't remember where from. Shout out to Ardo. Guru says Zorro cosplay go-karting acceptable. Apparently. Speaking of, that brought to mind Goku and Piccolo learning how to drive in that filler episode of Dragon Ball Z, and they're like, Yi, you kind of have like scarfy belts instead of just like normal belts or whatever. Like they're like weirdly wide belts and stuff. So like that kind of do a little bit. It doesn't necessarily have a trail or tail, but otherwise like it's kind of that. Here says that was words. That was hilarious. Did I say something weird? I don't remember. It's gone. It's gone. I have no idea what the fuck I said. It's too early in the stream for me to not know what the fuck I'm talking about. Pierce says that episode was funny. The driving one in Dragon Ball? I haven't seen it in whole before. My whole Z viewing experience is really fucking spotty. Like up until Super Saiyan? Maybe? Somewhere around Super Saiyan, I've seen every episode, like definitely for sure, right? But post that, I've seen most of it, but not all of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not even most of it, but like I know what happens for everything. I saw like a lot of Boo, and I saw a lot of the Cell Saga, but mostly not very much of Cell. Weirdly enough, I saw a lot of the Android stuff, if I recall correctly. But like I missed all of Perfect Cell. I missed literally all of it. As far as like actual episodes of the DBZ, I didn't see a single episode with Perfect Cell in it. But I saw a bunch of other stuff. And I like knew who Perfect Cell was, right? Like it's not like I was in the dark about like Dragon Ball Z or whatever. But as far as like actually watching the episodes with Perfect Cell, I don't know that I've ever seen an episode with him. Viking Trolls is gonna just put your money in a savings account that invests in the stock market and it's gone. Yeah. South Park. I know that one. Ardo says I still got 9 hours of work to go. Jesus Christ. My stream will last longer than your workday will, though. But I am playing video games and you are suffering. That's the difference between you and I. Boss makes $1 and I make a dime. That's why I shit on company time. Yours says, nah, stonks only go up. I wish that were true. But it simply isn't, unfortunately. In order to make more money, you usually have to make more money. You can invest in the right places, though. That does work, but I don't know what the right places are. I don't know how to do. Viking Troll says, I don't have to work for the next 9 months. I'm stoked. Did you get fired? Are you sure? Are you sure you're going to have a job in those 9 months? What happened? Are you a fucking saturation diver? Like, what the fuck is your job? Viking Troll says, no, school. I start tomorrow. Oh, I see. So, like, part of your job is school for a while, basically? Okay. So like you're just gonna like learn how to do something in 9 months and you'll go back to your job having learned a new thing that you can then use in your job, I presume. How much do saturation divers work? I know that they're like extremely highly paid, but are they like also extremely busy? Or do they like work like fucking 3 months out of the year? Viking Troll says, nah, they give you leave. The government pays for the cost of school. I have 3 years and I'm gonna be done studying network security. Oh, so it's not even for your job. Just they pay your leave to learn. That's crazy. America could fucking never. Sometimes you can get like your job to pay for your education though, if it has to do with your job, right? Like, oh yeah, no, especially like teachers, right? because obviously the more you know as a teacher, the more you can teach. So they're like, oh yeah, no, sure, we'll pay for you to take these classes or whatever. But I don't know of too many other jobs that do that in like a big way. There are some though, like mechanic jobs, you know what I mean? I hear that it's like really weirdly hard to like learn how to repair helicopters. Like it's like a very insulated, like insular, like I want to say community, like space. Like in order to learn how to repair helicopters, you need to know how to repair helicopters. You know what I'm saying? It's like the work experience thing. Like the only way that you can get experience working on helicopters, like even learn how to do it, is by having experience already. Which is like, the fuck? How does this happen? Viking Troll says, I work at a car dealership as a service writer for the shop, so it's nothing to do with my job. A service writer for a car dealership. So like you manage the like repairs that come from people who purchase cars from your shop, basically. I don't know what a service writer would do exactly, but it seems like you're like managing the stock of like your in-house mechanics. Ardos' cybersecurity is constantly changing rapidly. That's like an understatement of anything, right? Like, yeah, for sure, right? Like, even from the perspective of like lowly gamer boy, like the kernel level security thing that we have to contend with is fully that. Versus could be a military thing, like they have enough applicants with helicopter experience from serving. Yeah, it might be what it is. There aren't that many civilian uses of helicopters. There definitely are some, but not as many as the military has. So maybe that's just like, in order to get in, you have to enlist or whatever. That could be the inroad is through military. What a weird path. Shout out to the homies that are like, helicopters are my favorite thing and I want to work on helicopters, so I'm going to enlist in the military, right? Like, weird, but all right. I mean, that's what it takes. Viking Troll says, I basically talk to the customers and create work orders and book them in and have all the customer contact. That sounds like what I said. Sort of. Mostly. Maybe it's the opposite of what I said. Instead of like outtake to the mechanics, it's intake to the mechanics. But otherwise it's like, yeah, no, you're the mouthpiece for the company, for the mechanics to like do the work that needs to be done on the cars that they purchased from the dealership, basically. That seems right to me. I don't know, that's different than what I said. That's what I was like thinking, I think, but maybe I'm gaslighting myself into thinking that I'm right, which is possible. That happens sometimes. I'm saying what you're saying. Drink that. Take that. Take that. My control says, what? Why the put the craziest to talk to the customers? I still don't know why they put the craziest. I stumbled over the wrong part of that sentence. Why they put the craziest to talk to one of the customers? I still don't know. I mean, apparently you do okay. I don't know. Arno says it takes crazy to talk to clients. Sometimes. Depends on the company as well. Like if you run that axe throwing business or whatever, you want the one-eyed guy to run the cash register or whatever. That's perfect, right? You know what I mean? He's like going at you like this all the time or whatever. Viking Troll says that is true. Gur says I certainly don't want to talk to them. The customers? Yeah, I feel that. Do I? I don't know. I guess my fucking job is kind of like, am I not kind of speaking to customers? Isn't that kind of what I do? But like, we keep it fucking real here, mostly. We try to, you know what I mean? I try to not be too much of an asshole, but it is what it is. I fail sometimes. We all fail though. You know what it is. Viking Troll says that is true. Oh, I'll be back later. Gonna go eat some nuggies? This motherfucker. Gonna go snipe some chicken nuggets? You better bring some back for the class. Ardo says car dealers are a real mixed bag. like to deal with, or like control says that there won't be any left. Yeah. All right then. I'll remember this. There aren't spears in this game, right?
It's a spear.
There's a dragon spear.
There are spears.
Are there like bronze? Oh yeah, no, you're right. Hostas and spears exist.
The Zamaraki and Pasta starts as a spear.
Yeah. Wait, does it? I thought you got it from Krill.
You get it as a spear, and then you make it a Pasta.
How do you make it into a hosta? Or wait.
Barbarian smithing. I
Right.
believe.
Right. So Krill gives it to you as a Zamarakian spear then?
Yep.
No. My point being, do those guards have real weapons? Is that a real thing in RuneScape? These guys? These? Are those real? Those iron spears?
It's like iron spear.
Huh.
So Zamaraki spear and Hasta,
Hmm.
same stats, except it's one-handed.
Ah. Wait, but those guys had fucking shields, right?
Yeah.
So those are hostas?
No.
What the fuck is happening? They're wielding a two-handed spear with one hand?
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. Oh wait, no, they don't have shields. Okay, cool. I just imagined them having shields. That's fucking crazy. I 100% gaslit myself into them having shields. Can I attack them? Maybe I should attack them. I want to see them stab. Do they use both their hands when they stab? Artist, just hear me out. Rubber room full of rats? Yeah. Yeah. That's me right now. I discovered that everything I know is a lie, including the things that I'm observing. My memory is a fractal of misinformation, masked by truths. That almost sort of sounded like it was real. Sort of. Close. I was nearly convinced that I was saying something. I was nearly cooking. Can I attack you? No, I can only talk to them. Okay. Artist, this could be worse. Could be an office cubicle full of customers. Who works in a cubicle and has to contend with customers, like in person? Oh wait, no, I've done like a tax thing before. Like I had some people help me with my taxes once. They were in a cubicle and they helped me. Gur says me, dude. That sucks. You don't even get real walls? I hiccuped really loudly. That wasn't a gasp, that was a hiccup, don't worry. We got so much Aether catalyst now. I've made 4 million gold in 3 hours. Pretty good. Here's his customers come in for acceptance tests, and my boss will give them a tour. And they always want to talk to me at my cubicle. Huh. I don't know what an acceptance test is exactly. I mean, I think I have an idea, but I don't know what it means specifically. Ardo says, I would consider buying one of the RuneScape soundtrack packs. Have Sea Shanty on loop or Sea Shanty 2 for a more cultured experience. I've heard that there's quite a few releases of the old school RuneScape soundtrack, like rock covers and stuff as well. I've never really had too much of an interest myself, I think, in any of that. But maybe I'll feel differently after we stop playing old school RuneScape.
Aren't the tracks all on YouTube?
Yes. I think there's still reasons to get physical media though. But yeah, I hear you. Free access is a thing. All right. Oh, curses. They come look at the equipment to make sure it runs well and that we met all their specs. It is also their last chance for major changes before we ship it to them. Oh God. That's fucking ominous.
Right, enjoy your gaming.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I could save this slot, this air rune slot, if I simply had like a Tome of Fire and then like a Mist Battle Staff instead. Or no, it would be water and water and air. Yeah, so Mist to do this air and then Tome of Fire. But anyways, it's fine. Ardo says, I'm never playing Hollow Knight. I have fallen far behind in hardcore Metroidvanias. Mildly hypocritical given I'm looking forward to Crowsworn? Crowsworn. I don't know what Crowsworn is. I probably will play Hollow Knight, but I don't know. It's a lot easier to play a Metroidvania if you can play it like all in one sitting. So you can remember stuff easier, but yeah, I don't know. I'll probably do it, but I don't feel like terribly strongly about it. All right, let's switch games. Goodbye, RuneScape. I'll come back to it before too terribly long. For now, we're gonna do GTFO. Pikachu says, just do what I do. Forget everything? I don't know if you've ever played a Metroidvania. That sounds like a terrible idea. Ardos's bow is much smaller in scope, much easier to do in one sitting. Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know who Bo is, but that's the other game that you were talking about. The one that looked like Hollow Knight. What's your name? Delta D and John Small. What are we doing? Winning video game. Full squad. Oh, look at us. Oh, yo, what's up, screen, right? We're just in time for us switching to GTFO. All right. Video game? Go. Advanced Darkest Dungeon. I don't know what that means. Aaron says, oh, Cloud Time. Hell yeah. Have a blast, gang. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Music's a little too up tempo, I think. I'll turn it off. Oh, did I not stop the recording? Fuck.